Welcome, one and all. Henry, it's been a while.
It's been a minute, mate. It has been a minute.
Yeah, I think 5 weeks or just working out since our last stream. But we are back with a corker, my man. The World Cup of Cards final table. This is a juicy little one, Henry, to make our return to.
Yeah, definitely. To be honest with you, I feel like I've actually missed you, James. I don't know if I've ever said that on stream before, but genuinely, it's been a while. So I'm hoping Party Poker have got a busy summer for us lined up.
Well, yeah, certainly a little bit more on that later. We've got certainly some more streams on the horizon. But as I say, for tonight, our focus is on the World Cup of Cards. Now, Henry, this event, obviously, usually, for those unaware, held at Playground, but we're bringing it online, as we've been doing for a year and a half now, but I feel like we're getting nearer the end of that. But we are getting spoiled. And Henry, I have to say, this is a 1K buy-in, 1 million guaranteed, so 1,000 entries. It did just creep over the guarantee, but we have been blessed with a couple of superstars on our final table, haven't we? And I see our man, Andras Nemeth, is one of them, which is going to be a lot of fun watching him.
Yeah, I was looking at all the information that we had sent over prior to us going live. I was like, oh, no surprise there with a couple of the names in the mix.
There you go. Christian Rudolph, of course, was the biggest chip stack, and also one of those big names on this final table. Everyone guaranteed 30.5. First prize, 167,000. Henry, we'll call it for cash. We'll throw in the extra $7. There are 9 left. The blinds are, I think they're on the last level, 20 minutes, Henry. They go to 30 minutes once they complete this first level, which I believe is the 250-500. So it's ticking along nicely, and we should have, well, a pretty high-quality final table to enjoy this evening.
Yeah, I mean, we've been spoiled with having Christian Rudolph on our screens for, like you mentioned, what feels like the better part of a year and a half now.
Right.
But I don't know if we've had Christian Rudolph with the chip lead coming into one of these events. And as you can already see, and the people at home, a lot of ICM pressure on Pedro, on Joel, even on Mikhail, with those shorter stacks. I feel like Rudolph could just run away with this from the get-go.
Yeah, I'm reckoning average must be about 22, 23, so he's double average there with the chip lead, and as you say, some shorties. But if I'm right, 250, 500, obviously still a lot of playing. Like you say, we're jumping back into it, guys. ICM, is it real? Is it not? Well, we're gonna see it used anyway. We're gonna see it used. Well, hopefully we'll jump straight into the action, Henry, and see some blood from the off, and the all important table draw as well. We have a look here. Obviously, Pedro coming in with 30 million chips is to the left of Rudolph. Mikhail a bit further round as well, and Nemeth, well, he has the seat you kind of want, I guess, downstream from those two, but the 12 million is going to need to do something. And let's face it, he's a man who can certainly do something. He doesn't hold back that one.
Oh yes, I am down more money than I would like to even admit to Nemeth a lifetime. So I'm glad to see he's putting it to good use. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
and
it's a nice way to feel it.
Yeah, really solid seat draw for Mikhail Mikheev. I mean, just on the absolute other side of people that can put him in really tough spots. Andras Nemeth on the left of Pedro and Christian, but you know, having those blind v blind confrontation, that button versus big blind, going to be tough for him to navigate that one. So yeah, man. I mean, this is actually a really sweet table draw. I'm looking forward to this.
And this is a spicy turn card, Henry. Peter gets there with the straight, but Rudolph with, well, an inferior straight draw and a live flush draw.
Yeah, it does pick up the heart draw on the turn. Depending on sizing, though, I mean, don't really want to check raise as a bluff versus half. Maybe we could. A little bit of leeway. Yeah, interesting one for Christian here.
Yeah, but it's got to be a little difficult, isn't it, against Peter? I mean, I guess Peter checks back a lot, doesn't he? He does go for the check raise, Henry.
Go for it. Yeah, it's that half pot sizing, I think, where Christian has, you know, in my opinion, more flushes, more straights, more two pairs. Peter obviously going to have, you know, ace king, kings, aces with a heart, queens with a heart. But yeah, I mean, tough spot for Peter as well. I mean, sure, we've got a straight, but it's straight with no heart.
Interesting. River card, really? Okay, it does just shut it down, and I wondered, can Peter? It sounds crazy because we've got, a straight, but I mean, we're up against the hands that check raise turn and call river are not ones that a straight does too well against, are they? So he does. There you go. Check it back.
Yeah, exactly.
It's one of those. You've got the best hand, Henry, but it's really hard to get called, isn't it?
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. I mean, the question would be, is Christian checking some of his flushes? Maybe hands like 9-8 of hearts, Queen Jack, even his like ace high flushes, are they like checking to call on the paired board river? And yeah, Peter just taking the same kind of like route and checking that one back.
Yeah. Well, guys, welcome. I'm just having a little scan through the chat. Good to see you all still with us. Good to see you remember where we are, because like I say, 5 weeks out. We've still got you guys here. I see Mad Madge in the house, Gilliana, Ghost of M, of course, in there, and of course Supernova. Hurricane Higgins asking, are there any satellite qualifiers in? Well, I see there are a few players here, Henry, with very little information that we have on them. Obviously, we've got Rudolph and Nemeth with bundles of experience and big names, but Mikhail, not someone we know a whole lot about, very little in live earnings. So it's reasonable to consider. Joel as well, someone who doesn't have, oh no, pardon me, he just has a low amount of live earnings, but I think he does play at high stakes elsewhere. So yeah, not really sure, to be honest. Not really sure, but we'll find out what we can for you.
Peter potentially off to an absolute flyer here. So obviously winning the big pot against Christian, 3-bet pot now against Pedro, won't be going anywhere versus 1/3 open-ender backdoor clubs. And I mean, 2 9s dead, an ace dead. So what's that? Quick math. 5 outs minus the running club draw. And versus 3rd, obviously won't be disappearing. And yeah, you mentioned a couple of people in the chat, James. Lovely to obviously see people not forget us, not forget about us after being away for 5 weeks. And so Adka pointing out it's a miracle that I look so fresh after yesterday's match. No hangover at all. I've actually been on a bit of a, stop drinking, stop smoking and whatnot. But I'm surprised to see James here looking so fresh, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't pretty this morning, but throughout the day I've managed to get myself straight. So we're okay. Oh, Peter going after the check on the turn.
Yeah, interesting hand selection, blocking queens and jacks, blocking ace queen and ace jack as well. That might shut down turns from Pedro. I guess blocking king queen of clubs and jack 10, queen 10. I don't know. He's gone for it, man.
Wow.
He's gone for it.
Wow, Peter. We saw win the last hand with queen jack. This one going for the ballsy bluff on the end.
Tough one for Pedro. I mean, really only losing to 10s here. Only one combo of king 10 suited. Ace king O maybe at like a low frequency because of ICM. Does make the call, James.
It does indeed. And Henry, I was about to say the queen of spades, I guess. We don't want to ideally hold a queen, but it's the best one to hold, right? We don't block any of those backdoor flush draws for some of those other hands that potentially peon. Well,
you've been in the lab, James. What? What?
I told you, Henry, I'm feeling fresh
gone,
today.
I'm gone. I don't need to be here. Come on, man. Unblocking James Dempsey.
Unblocking. You
sexy man.
You wait. In a minute, I'm going to be talking about ICM and my full understanding of ICM. I'm sure I heard someone say something like that before. You just repeat it. It makes it sound vaguely clever. As long as I don't follow up on it, you get away with it.
Fantastic stuff. Love to see it. All right. We're stepping up the game, boys and girls. We've been doing this for a couple of years now, and yeah, you get the notepads and the pens out, all right? Especially when we've got some of these guys at the table. James Dempsey in the booth talking about unblocking some of the hands that float. I love that.
Unblocking but in all seriousness, Henry, when it does come to ICM, we have obviously with Peter losing that pot, a pretty big change in situation here, haven't we? Sitting on 6 blinds, it's going to be a lot of folding from these stacks, the small stacks.
Yeah, and Christian kind of got like a pretty nice seat draw, but now after 3 hands of play. Kind of not the greatest seat to have now all of a sudden.
Yeah, a little awkward for sure. Interesting. Just looking at the payouts here, Henry. Of course, everyone guaranteed 13.6. Next jump is up to 17, 21, 27. Kind of usual progression you'd expect on one of these final tables, but what a 3.5 buy and pay jump. So certainly going to see potentially some players go. Well, there you go. Look at this. Finn with ace jack of diamonds, Henry. 16 blinds. Right on point.
Yeah, tough one from +1. It's got leaning more towards raise fold. But then again, you know, even opening like 2.2x here, playing versus a big blind that has us covered it's a difficult one to navigate when the SPR going to the flop is going to be pretty low. Just lets it go, man. You know, what was it Dara Okani likes to say? You know, folding makes you money, and yeah,
certainly can.
Certainly can.
I've seen it many times, many times. As some of them will get excited to see Peter in the big blind here. You can see obviously dealt complete garbage, but it's where the likes of Finn will be excited. They're very interested in folding and watching this hand play out. Yeah, Henry, we're back. This is it. This is what it's all about. Big events right here on Party Poker, right here on Twitch with you guys. The World Cup of Cards. And of course, we love giving stuff away. Tonight, we have our free roll. You can see the password at the top of the screen there. WCC Party 2021. And that begins, I believe, in 1 hour and 10 minutes, I think. So do head on over to Party and get registered for that if you can. I know, obviously, some countries it's not possible. Don't blame me. Yeah.
Yes, it's weird times, man. Like, it seems to be we're getting more progress in America after years and years of obviously issues with legislation, and it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. We're now having European countries that, I mean, I do feel sorry for a lot of my German friends that, you know, are in a bit of a tough spot at the moment, whether to continue pursuing poker for a living, or potentially having to like move outside of Germany. I mean, I'm hoping, you know, bit one of those people that like thinks the best of the future, where we do just finally get together and just have like unified online poker pools for everyone. But hey, I mean, maybe that won't be the case.
Yeah. I'm just trying to read into this. I'm not up in what's going on in the poker legislation in Germany, so I'm just reading about it now.
Yeah, they're just making it really difficult, man. They've now added this like online tax as well after every session. It's yeah, mate. I don't know. It's weird times for us all, and you know, hopefully there's a way out of it. Mikhail just trying to get a sneaky one through here, aware that if Peter folds, Finn just has to fold close to range, but Peter running it.
Peter goes for it, yeah. This is funny. Mikhail's going to have to table the Queen 4, but he'll have 7 others rooting for him. And the 4 no longer live. Bricks out. Peter with the much-needed double. Mr. Willis says, wish the idiots would leave poker alone. Yeah. A lot of times, guys, this is well-intentioned, but obviously, as we know in the world, there's a lot more complexity, and it's not always going to fall our way, unfortunately.
Yeah, amen to that. So, James, 5 weeks, mate. I mean, what's been going on other than watching the Euros and playing golf? You've been playing much or playing much poker?
That's about it. You summed it up pretty well. Yeah, I've been playing a little bit. A little bit of the great game.
Yeah, the great game.
The great game. You know, I haven't played any Hold'em in that time, I don't think. But yeah, just playing a little bit, playing a little golf. And you say watching Euros. I find it hard, Henry. Every time coming into these international tournaments, I'm not that bothered, and I'm not a big fan of international football because it's just, well, unfortunately the standard isn't as high as club football anymore. But there we go. But I've got a little bit more into it as we've gone on.
Obviously.
Oh, hello, Joel. Taking the king 5 off upstairs, saying, no, Mikhail, you opened the queen 4 last hand. Have some of this.
Yeah,
nice to see, Henry.
If we can get, king 6 all the way through to like king 10-0 to fold, potentially folding out 5 or 6 pips better. Obviously blocking kings, ace king, nice hand to do it with. We've seen more and more of that over the last year or so. Yeah,
that's certainly something that really jumped to my attention, Henry, is those hands, the king wheel hands, as you were, the king deuce through king 5 being 3 bets from the big blind seem to be the most popular combos. And like you said, it just makes a lot of sense. You block all those king X continues, king queen, king jack, ace king, kings. It's good to see.
See if Finn takes this spot for 14. Let's it go. All right.
Is that one, Henry, you might lean a bit more towards taking because it's Nemeth opening?
Oh, wow. Crusher Rudolph just takes it upstairs. I mean, wow.
Get in the bin.
I'd love to just see the old FU call here from Nemeth.
ICM isn't real, kids. Just click cool.
Yeah, mind you, 1 king dead, 1 queen dead. That's like go. I mean, wow. That feels that's an interesting one to see, that's for sure.
Wow, next hand gets dealt ace king suited in the small with. Well, is Nemeth going to get a line? No. Pins the king jack, but is Finn 14 blinds, Henry? We've seen him take the the passive route a couple of times. Does do so here. I was wondering if he might just try and jam one through there, Henry. I mean, I know Peter is shorter, but this isn't like it's 4 left, is it? With 9 left and he's second shortest, maybe a little avenue to gamble, but
yeah, Christian just with the 4x there. Interesting to see that adjustment from him.
Yeah, very deep against Pedro. Out of position. Guess we're going to have a limp strategy there, Henry, of course. A blended strategy, I should say. There'll be some limps. But Razor's going to be bigger given how deep they're playing and how much Pedro can just mess with him. So it comes around to Pedro in the small against Nemeth. Yeah, so Henry, right. First of all, we did the usual where in the world is Henry. I reckon you haven't moved because this was supposed to be a longish for you term base camp, right? So we're nicely set up in a grindhouse in Thailand. Is that right?
We are. We're still in Thailand,
right.
But there have been
a
couple of things coming to fruition over the last couple of weeks where I'm not sure if I'm going to be staying here all the way through to WSOP.
Okay.
But it's out of my control basically whether I stay in Thailand or not. But for the time being, I am staying here. But I'll probably know within the next week if I'm going to be heading back to Europe for a bit, or potentially just heading straight to America. I don't know, man. It's tough life here.
It sounds it. It sounds it. Ooh. Let's have a look here. I guess Joel's opening. So let's see, we might have something interesting, small versus big, but guessing just a Nemeth jam. 2 9s.
25. It's pretty grim. I think 10s is a fist bump. 9s, yeah, it's putting it in. Because you have to take into consideration that Joel is opening into Christian and Pedro, but does let it go. One of those ones where, if you've got one of the 5 better pairs, GG's.
Well, he's got one worse the next hand. And, ooh. guess. Yeah, it's go time, right? With the 2-8s, just about strong enough, hey, Henry?
Yeah, I'd say so. I don't think like Andras Nemeth isn't one of those to like have a close spot and lean more towards fold.
Mm.
I feel like he's someone that. Question is whether he jams over the top. Although I don't think we ever like call and then fold to a jam. So maybe just like jamming on our own makes more sense. Potentially folding out like 9s, I guess.
Yeah. So you're saying, I guess there's like some really bizarre scenario where if we flat and they both go all in behind, then you get to fold. But
yeah,
it's so rare, isn't it?
That would be the extreme scenario. I don't think we're ever like calling the 5 mil and then folding to the Mikhail rejam.
Well, here we go. Peter, attempt number 2 is also successful. Doubles up once more, and all of a sudden, a bit more comfortable. Nemeth now down below the 10 mini mark, sub 20 blinds.
Yeah, just to like remind people how pretty like crazy that is. Peter's gone from clear 9 of 9 to now 6 of 9. And obviously with these pay jumps getting high, I mean the difference between 6th and 9th is even 14 buy-ins.
Yeah, actually, 5th of 5 of 9. He's even just scripted ahead of Dmitry here in the blind. Wow.
Oh, he has. Yeah, you're right.
It's also tight, obviously down there, but yeah, that's a huge like change in the dynamic. I like to say. Wow, here we go. Mikhail, obviously, he shot down a couple of times, electing not to take Joel on with King Jack from the small. We'll see exactly how frisky he's feeling. But
yeah, Joel sounds like Norwegian or Scandinavian.
Yeah, Swedish, I believe.
Swedish. Known as Mincy. Okay.
So he's got form in these 1Ks, winning the Millions online opener for 91k.
Yeah, I mean, like show me someone that's part of like the Swedish armada that isn't good at poker. It's kind of crazy. They just seem to be on a different level.
Always have been.
Was it what was? They always have been, right? Just like from the get-go.
Just from the get-go in online poker, man. Back in its infancy, Henry. Back in the early rise of online poker, it was always the Scandies that seemed to be crushing it. I think it's just incredibly popular in Scandinavia, online poker, when it came out. Lots of reasons for that, of course. I mean, most notably is can't really go outside in the winter, Henry. It's dark and cold. It's like, what else are you going to do? They play a lot of games, a lot of video games, so poker made a natural progression into that world, and we were blessed with just a huge amount of young Scandinavians early on in poker, and some of them obviously still knocking around these days, getting it done.
Let's put a little post out on Instagram that we're live. 167k for the win.
167k. Chris asking what's the name of the tournament. It is the World Cup of Cards main event. This is our final table. Interesting, Henry. I see someone I think had a very good idea at Party. This tournament actually ran over the weekend, and day 2 was Monday. And they sort of virtually bagged up Monday night, and then we decided to have the final on Thursday. So I assume avoid the clash with a couple of football matches the last couple of nights. So.
Yeah.
These guys have
GTO.
Yeah, these guys have had a couple of nights, 3 nights, in fact, to sleep before coming to this final table to think about it. I wonder how that plays in your mind. I mean, if you're a little less experienced, Henry, you're probably. I don't know. I think it'd be a good thing. I think I'd enjoy knowing that I've got it coming. Delay it a couple of days, get myself geared up.
Got it coming home, or just you got the final table coming?
Is it coming home?
It's crazy because I don't know if you recall, like a month before the Euros, when we had pads on, I asked him if it's coming home live on Twitch, and he was like, I'm being an Iron Man. He's like, yeah, I think it's coming home. And now England are in the finals.
He also tipped up Scotland, which didn't work out quite so well. So, you know,
hey, listen,
thanks, pads.
No,
thanks.
you're not one to talk when it comes to giving tips on stream, mate.
I followed pads in on that one. Or the whole world as well. I was like, I'm on Scotland, lads. Got ridiculed.
All right. Bear with me, James. I'm terrible at putting posts out when it comes to.
You're terrible. All right, blinds kicking up. 3-6 is where we go next. Usual sort of structures, guys. We've come to expect and love. On party, little jumps in there. We go 350, 700 next. 4, 8, 5, 1. You get the gist. And as I say, we are into now the 30-minute levels, having reached this 3-6 level. So these guys have got bundles of play. Should, of course, note, as per usual, final table deals are allowed, but there is to be 10k left aside for the winner in the case of a deal. So we will get a, we will get a battle, Henry.
We will, mate.
And again, obviously, I guess it all depends on who gets the chips, but deals seem to be pretty rare these days. At least in the events we've been covering. I know these ones are the more likely, the 1k large fill ones, but even then, it's so many bosses through to the end of these.
All right. We're done. We can put the phone back down.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, leaving money, obviously, after a deal. What's going on?
Henry. Well, actually, no, Joel's... I was just thinking... The Joel... I was thinking that the Pedro and Nemeth clash potential here, small to big, but then my eyes filtered around and saw Joel with King Queen, so this one's going to play it a little differently. May still see some fruitiness though, Henry. King Jack from the small versus the cutoff opened.
Peter tries to get one through here with like the 10-9 suited. Be impressed. Don't think it would work, but. And Pedro might take this upstairs with the King Jacko versus Cutoff Open. Joel's been pretty active, and not only has he been pretty active, you know, when you're made aware that someone's a crusher, you know that they're going to be a few pips wider than your average Cutoff Open. Obviously, in this case, he actually has him crushed. But yeah, I'm not surprised to see Pedro just take this one upstairs rather than, you know, flat. I don't think we get to flat much from the small, to be honest with you. Not with ICM. Could see the 4 here. Yeah, make it like 9. Kind of just click it back.
Here we go, Henry. You're on point tonight.
I'm trying, my man. I'm trying.
And it is very late night for you as well, right? It must be just after 3, I guess. As we dart around all these time zones. I wonder where some of you watching from all around the world. We've all got different hours going on here, but
yes, it's a tough time zone to grind the commentary game. I'm not gonna lie, but I've been working on a project myself where I'm like working with people in Europe and America. So I've been on a bit of a late grind after a couple of months hiatus, where I kind of feel like I'm back in the mix, just like grinding online again after the Vegas trip. And also I'm having serious FOMO about live poker right now. Like I left Vegas and I couldn't wait to just like get out of Vegas, not play live poker for the rest of the year. And now I've been in Thailand for 2 months. I'm like seeing posts of all of these wonderful like casinos running these amazing events. I'm like, oh no, man! Like, come on.
What have I done?
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to like focus on the good stuff that I got going on when I'm seeing all these like huge like chip stacks and chip porn being posted all over the place.
Nikita. First mention of Nikita this evening in here with the small king 6 off. Having a little think. Does go for the limp. Mikhail with the dominating a6.
I think like first time round, it's never a trap. It's just like my read on the situation in like these blind v blind confrontations where someone has like sub 20. But then as the game progresses, and I don't know. We'll have to like get Pads on call or something. But I'm fairly sure I've heard Pads actually say that as well. That the first limp is like never a trap. But hey, I mean, I could be wrong.
Joel,
Mr. Willis.
Joel kicking the 5s into the muck. Good thing, because Christian was sat next seat with the Butchers. Pops it up, going to get no love. Deng! Yes! Welcome back yourself. Good to see you. I've missed you. Henry, I'm not sure if he shares exactly the same sentiment, but... welcome, all of you. It does feel like the first day back at school, Henry. And unfortunately, we just got the one stream this week, and then we got another little break for 3 weeks, I think, until we're back again. For a one-day event, in fact, actually, through the community poker knockout. You'll be seeing a lot more about that in the lead up to the event. But
yeah, am I right in saying that August and September was really busy for us last year? I don't know whether Rob and the team they're like, right, let's just give Henry and James a bit of a break, because come August and September we're going to be streaming like 3 times a week or something.
Yeah, certainly towards them was when I think obviously when everything went off last year. I remember early part of the summer I was doing those high roller clubs.
Yeah, that's right.
And then everything got settled in, and obviously we had more and more events. We pulled more stuff online that was scheduled. I think hopefully this year. There's obviously I know it's hard when people are like, oh well, you run these events, but a lot of these events need a big lead in, because you need to, well, first of all, just the logistics of having the venues booked and everything. But say you run these big live events, you need plenty of time to qualify people. You need months to run qualifiers online, all the campaigns, all this sort of stuff. So it's not quite so simple as being like, okay, like, we couldn't be confident 3 months ago that everything was going to say open in this country or be open in that country. You just don't know. So I imagine we'll still have quite a few events imported back online, despite the fact that they could potentially be held live. But hopefully Henry will be getting to some live events soon enough.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I know you're probably chomping on the bit to get back into those live streets, not only in terms of the commentary, but just go to the venues, man, catching up with old faces, new faces. I mean, look, not to take anything away from the people that have won big events whilst we've been commentating online, but to see the reaction, the heads up, the people busting out at the final tables, and it just has a bit more of a a human touch to it. And yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. Just want to say to the moderator that deleted my message, I'm actually Overbet Express, and Deng Fet Mama, you can rot, mate. Seeing as my comment was deleted. So
wow, you're Overbet Express now, are you? You do change names and locations quite regularly, don't you, Henry?
Working on a big project, mate. One that's actually going to involve party poker quite a bit. As of tomorrow, going to be streaming some very high stakes on party, the highest tournaments, highest cash games.
Nice.
Yeah, really excited, man. It's something I've been working on for a while now, and we're meant to go live a few weeks ago. Didn't happen. But yeah, touch wood, definitely meant to be going live tomorrow. And yeah, like I said, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff with Party over the next couple of months. And yeah, we'll see where it takes us.
Good stuff, Mr. Overbet Express. There we go, guys. Get following. Get ready for what's coming. This is generally, I'm not feigning. This is the first I've heard of this. It does sound interesting.
Yeah, but keeping it under the radar, man, because obviously, like, we just had so much to do logistically with setting everything up and making sure that we have like a really good product in place. But I'm pretty excited. And the great thing about the moniker Overbet Express, obviously, in relation to the poker term Overbet, but we actually came up with it because we're just a group of guys trying to overbet on life, and
look, guys, this isn't a flash in the pan. This is well thought out. Come on.
Oh, mate,
it's got the backstories and everything.
Listen, man, we're streaming like we're gonna be streaming like 100K's worth of our own money in buy-ins each month. So it's been in the works, man. I'm pretty nervous, as you can probably tell. Like we're like meant to be, launching tomorrow, and I don't know. It's something that I've never done before. Obviously, done commentary with you. Feel very comfortable speaking with you when I'm not playing, but actually, like, commentating on like high stakes whilst playing is something that, I'm excited to see how that one works out.
Oh, that sounds fascinating, Henry. And it sounds a little scary. I can sense like a little, it's just exciting, isn't it? It's a new project, anything like that. Hopefully it flies off the shelf, as it were. Pedro with the boots in the small. Mikhail with 2 9s from +1.
Could be a bit of a car crash here. Purely because this is going to be, I want to say, Pedro's third 3-bet, second one in a row out the small. Had one earlier against Peter with the King Queen. 3-bet folded, cut off versus small playing against Joel.
Yep.
Always going to see a flop, and I mean, that's a flop that we're most likely going to see a turn on as well.
Yeah, Mikhail certainly doesn't hate that board, Queen 6-4. I'm going to say that there aren't a lot of Queen X that 3-bet from the small, Henry, in this situation, right?
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, like, is Ace Queen suited 3-betting? Maybe, I guess. Ace Queen no. Not sure. Maybe flatting Ace Queen suited and 3-betting Ace Queen no makes sense. Although we don't want to have too many flats out the small. Pedro's slowing down on the turn. Yeah, I guess so.
Guys, as always, we will be having our Sport Buff questions today. Please do click the widget if you haven't already done so. You've got to click the sort of start now, whatever the button says. I can never remember. Once you've done it, you've done it, and then the questions will be flashing up on screen throughout the stream, and you guys can win those tickets. Sorry for not giving enough warning if I've just missed it, which I believe I may have done. But they'll be going off for evening. Back to the hand, Henry. Obviously, Mikhail, a lot harder here, but like you say, a lot of the hands like Ace King, which is a prime candidate. Oh, there we go. There's the question. And doesn't get paid off this time around. And what's the question, of course? Who won the WPT Heads Up Championship? Bit of a one for the old school, that one, Henry. You saw the latter stages, the final.
Yeah.
I didn't actually watch any of it myself, but I was very happy to see the 2 finalists.
Yeah, man. I mean, we've spoken about this quite a lot. A lot of the OGs, that have been around for the better part of 15 years. So some of them even longer, better part of like 2 decades. Just still in the mix, still getting out there, and it was refreshing to see that final showdown. That's pretty insane. Ivy against what was it Patrick Antonius that you played? Yeah, awesome stuff, awesome event, obviously. And yeah, I mean, where was our invite? Come on. Bit of James Dempsey in there.
Might have been a little one. Let's see, the heads up, the high stake heads up tournament with the world's best. I don't know. It's a tough tournament when people are like, "Oh, it's great to see Phil Ivey and Patrick Antonius get to the final." Like that was a shock. Like they overcame a field where they were going to be bettered. I mean, it gives you an idea of maybe perhaps the perception of where the game's at. Henry, I'm sad to say I actually got that question wrong. I don't know how I managed to do that, but I clicked the leaderboard button and I see all the names at the top of the leaderboard. Unfortunately, a whole bunch of you have just got player, anon in effect, just a random combination of letters and words, because obviously I didn't give you guys a lot of time, but you need to click the sort of drop down and click the join now or start now, whatever it is. Once you've done that widget is then allowed to collect your data, basically. You collect your answers, and then we can see who's got the questions right, who's got them wrong, and we do the draw from, of course, the players who got it right. So no worries if you've missed the first one, but click that button. You do it once, you're done, and then we can give you those lovely tickets.
Oh, Deng slating you on your quintuple bogey. Saying, Henry, how's your ping pong ball collection coming along over there? Deng, mate. Fantastic. Got enough now to start my own ping pong tournament. And Batman said, what's the project, Henry? The project is called Overbet Express, and going to be streaming tons of high stakes pot limit Omaha, cash games, high stakes MTTs on Party, and everywhere basically. Just a group of friends that met through poker, and then we decided to kind of like come together and try something different, try something new. So we'll see how it pans out for us.
I like the idea of you guys streaming some high stakes PLO and just seeing the pain that people go through.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to be throwing in some like sports betting in there as well. A couple of the guys in the team have had a lot of success in sports betting, crypto, and some lifestyle and entertainment stuff. So hopefully got like a nice mixture to keep people entertained and not just be focused on poker all the time. But we'll see how it pans out, man. It might be in 6 months' time and everyone's like, Henry, what happened to that project that you were hyping up 6 months ago? Like, who knows?
Henry, it's always better to have taken the shot. I'm sure it'll be a success, but
it's very true.
At least you'll find out. There's so many people have these ideas and never follow through. And they never know. Nemeth going to get a nice little jam through here on Joel, having opened the gun with Jack 10 suited. This is an easy one. 15 Beavers with Ace King. Dang. I do love you. I think one day it's going to come out that Deng's my ghost account, but until then.
It does feel like that sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. Like some of the stuff Deng comes out with, I'm not sure, man. I mean, I know you've been getting paid the big bucks for 20 years, so maybe you just have people on the payroll. Who knows?
I do indeed. I pay them all sorts. No, like Deng's far too witty to be my ulterior, my ghost account. I have to leave that to, like you say, to the paid employees. Guys, of course, since we were last with you, there have been many a new promotion on Party. Not least, of course, is Magic. I'm struggling with words already, Henry. We're not even an hour in, and I'm already stumbling over them as Dmitry gets a jam in here with Ace Jack. We'll get this one through. Magic cards. you can earn cashback points for magical picks. You get magic cards by playing regular cash games and fast forward tables, and they can land you all sorts of up to 1k instantly, I believe. And there are free sports bets in the mix as well, which is nice, as you know, we're coming towards the end of the Euros and the Copa America, but there's plenty of sports still to come with the likes of Wimbledon currently going on. What have we got coming up next week? We've got the Open, Henry, for those golfers. I believe you can earn, here it is, 5 of those prize picks every single day. So yeah, if you want to know more about it, and you should, just head to the promotions on Party, and you can read all about it. A nice new one, Henry. Pick those cards, get lucky, you know.
Yeah, Finn, not getting lucky, but managing to fade the flush draw and gets the double. I mean, this is these chip stacks. Well, Finn on 10, Peter on 10, Nikita on like 14, Andras on just shy of 20, Dmitry on sub 20. It's yeah, madness.
Chris asking, there are so many things in the top right corner. What do you click on? Well, I'm looking now. It's like a drop down menu that shows the leaderboard, and again, because I've already done it, I can't see it anymore. But I'm pretty sure if you have that drop down, it's inside the sort of the window that the table's on, that the stream's on. So it's not a button that's external to the program, as it were. It's not one of the Twitch buttons where you've got your messages and your notifications and stuff like that. It's inside the picture of the stream. There's a little drop down there. If you hover your mouse sort of towards the top right hand corner, it should be there. You should be able to get involved. Pedro goes after Christian once again, this time of course though with ace queen. Very reasonable. Dmitry with the butchers. Mikhail with 2 10s under the gun. I guess just the jam, Henry. 20 bigs. Nice and easy.
Grim spot for Mikhail as well. And it folds back around. UTG versus +1. Knows that Dmitry's jamming range. Like, he doesn't have 8s here. You know, he doesn't have 7s. You've got Peter on 10, Finn on 10. You know, this is grim. I mean, you throw it with jacks. You throw it with 10s, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I again, you know,
I honestly think you're flipping at best. I genuinely think that.
Yeah, I think he's going to get just away from this with, you say, I mean, look, Peter, Finn, Andreas, Nikita, all short as well. Would Dmitry be doing this wide? I can't see it. Well, you know, Mikhail calls and loses, still has, 28 million. So can afford to take some form of gamble. But like I say, it's just Dmitry. Dmitry Yurasov's range is going to be so tight there that, and with you, Henry, he's just praying to see ace king, and your overlay and chip equity, is it worth enough? With the ICM situation as it lies, probably not. It does make the fold. Good fold. This fold's approved, Henry. I approve of this fold.
It's one of those ones that I feel like 2 years ago we would have been shouting at the screen, you know, like, oh, how can he fold 10s there? But yeah, I mean, with these chip stacks, yeah, I think we're honestly flipping at best. I don't think Dmitry ever shows up with 8s. Doesn't show up with 9s. Definitely not 7s, given the table dynamic. And interesting here from Andras. Limping on the button with the king 9-0.
First one's never a trap, Henry.
First one's never a trap. There we go. Called it. Go on, Mikhail. Just put him in the bin, mate.
This would be amazing, wouldn't it? Wow, what a flop for Nikita from the small pair and flush draw on this ace-6-4. Safer asking, is there a free roll? Well, welcome, first of all. Yes, there is. Password at the top of the screen there, WCC Party 2021. Head on over to Party. It's called the WCC free roll, so if you just click the search button, it's the easiest way to find it. We're giving away $500 in cash, and I am regged. I'm ready to go. So be warned, be fearful, as Nemeth has a stab for a blind to the 2 checks. Interesting for Nikita, obviously. Henry, it's like one of those hands. So good. We're obviously never going anywhere, but at the same time, so vulnerable to just even hands that are just nonsense, right? Andres still has outs.
Yeah, I mean, Andras does have some traps as well, and maybe limps in some, ace-x that he doesn't want to have to raise fold. So I can understand the stab on the flop. Does decide to just shut down on the turn, and obviously Nikita, not only does he river flush, he rivers a straight as well.
Yeah, I guess they're 2 ways. A little bit of overkill.
Love to see just like a really sly in juice here. It's like a small block. Yeah. Gang. Just get him to like whale off with, I don't know, like Queen Jack, Queen of Spades or something. Although, maybe. No, that doesn't. No, that's shut down. Alright, I'll stop mumbling, chat. Just, like we see these spots and I'm just trying to like think and, try and like understand it a bit more, but I don't think Andras is like ever wailing off with like Queen Jack. Actually, I take that back. I think he is. Like he's gangster enough to do it.
He is, yeah. He's certainly capable, Henry. Of that we have no doubt. Mikhail ripping from the small with the smallest pair in the game. Yes, they're getting pinched. These short stacks keeps whipping around to this end of the table. Finn and Peter.
What's up, Joey Pads? How's it going, my man? Got the exclamation mark Croaks in the chat as well. Where's Croaks? Is Croaks around? The OG? Croaks has been lurking in Twitch chat since 05, right? Don't even know if Twitch existed when Croaks started.
Lurking before Twitch even existed. Look at Pedro. That's how you play the deuces. Goes off to Joel's early open. Pedro is playing some poker, Henry. We haven't, I certainly haven't spoken much about Pedro up to now. Obviously, is now the chip leader and is really beginning to give it a go, Henry.
He's running away with it. Pedro needs to give D-Negs a call and teach him how to play pocket twos, man. It's like, yo, ring, Daniel. Here you go, my man.
Yeah, again, don't know too much about Pedro, other than obviously an online grinder. But very impressive so far, Henry. Going again, you might think, oh, this looks a bit foolish, but we look at the ICM situation here. We look at all these short stacks. He knows that Joel just has to swallow a lot of these 3-bets. He just has to give it up.
Yeah, they've been having an interesting back and forth. I want to say it's 1 apiece, but the 3-bet fold to 4-bet was absolutely gangster from Joel, and I want to give him like an additional point for that. So I'm going 2-1 Joel at the moment, but Pedro does have a massive chip lead, so I'm sure Pedro's watching and saying, "Hey Henry, I don't care what score you'll keep it track of, mate. I'm currently on route to book myself a 167k win." This
does Dmitry rifle this? Probably not, Henry, with those 2 behind, I'd say. But we've seen Mikhail open a lot of hands, and we see Mikhail show down 1 terrible hand, at least.
And 3-bet folding would be a disaster, though.
Right, just go for the rip. And, well, Joel with 8s in the big. Nothing can be done here. And for this, going to get one through.
Yeah, Mikhail still, in third, but kind of frustrating, these spots where you just have standard opens and...
Right. The Queen 4 aside, he's had the 10s open Dmitry jams on. He's had that one. He's been 3-bet by Joel when Joel had King 5 off. He's just, he must feel like they're going after him a little bit at this point. Yeah. Oh, hello. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Is Andras Nemeth going to run good today? Or is he going to be out in 9th, Henry? That's the straight up question we have to ask at the end of this hand.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you've already scanned around the table. This could go a couple of ways, right? Get the...
I think Rudolph's just going to fold, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was kind of like leaning towards. But again, it's Christian Rudolph.
Right, and it's Andras Nemeth.
Just let's go. What do I know?
Here we go then. Nemeth needs an ace or a king. Some running diamonds, perhaps. No, Henry. Not to be. The man that I sort of drew attention to at the start of this final table as potentially the one to watch, as it were, is the man busting out in 9th place. Nemeth picking up 13.6k for his efforts. And I was saying earlier, some of these guys have been enjoying having a couple of days to chill out, waiting for this final table. It's probably going to feel pretty sick now. You get fired up, you look forward to it, and then it's like, oh, right, I did come 9th. That's no fun.
Yeah. I was bigging him up as well, right? I was saying that Henry Kilbane money being put to good use, because I'm definitely down lifetime against Nemeth. It's not even close. And I'm sorry, Andras. I kind of jinxed it for you there, mate. GG's, out in 9th. And,
well, the rich get richer, Henry. Pedro picking up even more chips.
Yeah, this is... I'm just trying to quickly scan how many chips there are in play. I mean, has he got like 40% of the chips in play now?
What do we have? We had 200k to start with 1,000.
Yeah, so like
players,
200 million, right?
So, 200.
That's crazy. 200 million, 40% of the chips in play with 8 left. I mean, nice life.
It's not bad work if you can get it, is it, Henry?
When we're saying silly question, what's stopping the players watching the stream? Hey man, firstly, welcome to the stream. No such thing as a silly question, unless your name's James Dempsey. And secondly, we are on a delay, my man. So we've had it before, we've had like Ike Haxton in the booth, Jason, Kristen Bicknell, Pads, sometimes playing in the same tournaments that we're streaming. And we're on a 30-minute delay to protect the integrity of the game.
I mean, we've had Ludo, which back before when we were doing those high roller clubs, man, he did commentary on the event as he were playing his table. That's like it has to be a first. He has to be a world record holder in that respect. Any person to commentate on his own table whilst playing the tournament. But there we go. Guys, I was giving a little love to the Magic cards, but of course, it's just delights for cash game players at the moment on Party because it's the boosted cashback. Kicked off the 21st of June. Everyone's getting an extra 10% cashback on all cash games and fast forward tables played straight into your Party Poker account daily. All you got to do is play, and we'll give you an extra 10% cashback. Easy game. Anyway.
Easy. I wasn't sure whether Pedro was going to fold there. And Nikita going to have some of the old, King Jack, Queen Jack, Jack 10s in there, but he does. I mean, Pedro in a prime spot here to just play how he wants to play and not let variance dictate some of the closest spots. What are you laughing at now?
Joey, got some comedy coming here. Nikita ace-7 on the button. Oh, with 3 aces here, button. Small and big. Imagine we're going to see a raise, a fold, and a call, but you never know. Maybe Mikhail goes after this, Henry. Another fun spot.
Don't think we go after it with the ace-4-0. The Yurasov spot, definitely a fun one. Kind of nice to just like flat with these.
Yeah.
ace high suits and just
yeah.
like cooler. His like king 7 opens. It's like queen 9, queen 6 of heart opens and stuff like that. And obviously when we do jam, we obviously just fold those out. But yeah, obviously outflanking him.
We go like flag. It's just nice to have some aces, isn't it? And here we go. Flats and flops. Absolute gin on 8-4 deuce rainbow. Checks through queen on the turn. Maybe Dmitry will allow some ropes still. Yeah, he does. Check it over to Nikita, who I guess, unfortunately, from Dimitri's point of view, has ace high. If he had some weaker hands, may try and stab on this queen. Certainly gets to have plenty of queen X having opened from the button. I think a check still makes the most sense. It does check again, and again, a pretty horrible river now for Dmitry. I mean, you shouldn't have any 9-10, Jack-10, Jack-9 when it's gone check on the turn, I guess, but it's still just some random 10x that's in there. Some hands like King-10, perhaps, or...
Yeah, I could see King 10 knuckling back on the turn. Has showdown. Does go for the block.
Yeah, that's just a tough one for Nikita. I don't think we can really call here, can we?
Yeah. I mean, I'd be pretty shocked if I see him put on the cape with ace high here.
Gets it home. Does Dmitry, as we play 8-handed here at the World Cup of Cards final table. We have our free roll kicking off, guys. 22 minutes till that begins. Please do head on over to Party Poker. It's called the WCC free roll. $500 cold hard cash in the pot for you guys to get your hands on. Of course, I've been there causing some trouble, so it's not going to be easy. Just fair warning. Fair warning, Henry. I'm going to be in there. I'm going to be fighting hard. Dimitri's going to fight this one pretty hard with the butchers. And Pedro with ace-jack. Well, this could be... I don't know. There's a sickness in me for Henry. But I guess with Finn and Peter so short, just Dmitry, when he 3-bets here, just has it, doesn't he? There's no...
Yeah, I don't know, because of ICM, especially versus 2.5x, if we... Maybe kings is the hand that we do 3-bet induce with. Kings and aces, and then just jam like ace, king, queens, and jacks.
Right.
Would kind of make sense. But at the same time, I wouldn't be shocked to just... Yeah, he does go for the 3-bet, okay. And I wouldn't be shocked to see him pile there.
Would you have like or perhaps 3-bet fold with hands like ace, queen off to balance that out? Or would we just fold them to the open? I don't know. So hard. With those two so short behind.
It's such a inducing sizing as well. I could see Pedro, potentially having a nibble and coming over the top, but does manage to just bow out.
Such a different hand, isn't it? If Finn and Peter both had an extra 10 million, that could go all manner of ways, but as it is, I think it's a lot.
So, James, you've never been one to shy away from predictions on stream.
Okay, here we go. I'm warming up. I'm getting ready.
All right. Here we go. How's this Euros final going to play out on Sunday? What's your prediction?
That's a good question. It's a good question. I expect it to be a rather tight affair, Henry. Cup finals always tend to be that way. As Peter's going to get this one through. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a weird one because all the England games have been pretty poor spectacles so far, and I can't imagine they're going to try and deviate from that game plan of just playing a very solid game, should we say? And I don't know. I don't know, Henry. I don't know. It's pretty close to a flip. I mean, before the tournament, you'd have said England are a much better team. I think what we've seen so far through the tournament is Italy are. I think everyone would agree that they've been the better footballing side this tournament, but England got home advantage, so that makes them favourites,
Yeah, I don't know, man. I can just see like the Italians piecing us up, man. Like they're just so quick, so fast on the ball, and England have had some sloppy games against teams that didn't punish us for some of the sloppy mistakes, but I feel like the Italians are the team that they're going to capitalize on some of those slip ups that we've had at the back and in midfield, and they can finish. They can find the back of the net. So I'm a bit worried.
It's actually quite funny because it's almost, all my time watching football, it's almost the reverse of the stereotype of how those two teams have played in the past. Like Italy were always the really strong, defensive, organised, didn't really push forward too much team. And England were always the kind of team that perhaps overextended in that department, never looked solid at the back. This has switched around this time, this new generation. So yeah, it'd be intriguing. As Peter rips in 2-3, is going to get looked up here by Christian in the small with those 2 9s. One assumes as a flat with the big stack behind. Does just that. Peter needs help. Doesn't find it. Well, Henry had 2 double ups to get back in after the courageous bluff, but couldn't do it the third time of asking. And Peter out in 8th for 17.2. Now guaranteed, 21.5.
Yeah, that feels like a bit of chat. How do we feel about that threes jam from the hijack for 10?
I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm with it.
You're an absolute. You're folding 7s there, mate. Grow up. No, you're not folding 7s, but you're like umming and ahhing with 5s and 6s. I don't know.
I'm jamming.
You jamming?
Yeah, I jam. I don't believe in ICM, man. Come on. Told you this. See,
ICM,
I thought this might
money.
I thought us, talking football might kick off a massive debate in the chat, but somehow we managed to avoid it. As Joel's going to pop up this ace queen. Christian, 2 10s, next seat. Playing 40, effective.
Should we get Pads in here? Pads will cause a riot. He's been doing that on Twitter.
Good old Pads, he does love it. I wish I'd get excited about England, like someone like Pads does. I just don't really care.
Yeah, I'm the same, mate. I'm the same.
Yeah.
The funny thing is like my I mean, you already know this, but for those at home, my mum's Italian, so we put in the family chat that we've disowned our mum until Monday, pretty much. She's like, oh well, she's like, now I'm happy either way. Whoever wins. It was like, no, mum, you don't get to do that. Like, you're either with us or you're against us.
Yeah, that's definitely not an option. Yeah. I think I'm in the exact same boat as you. Mum's Italian, dad's Irish, so it's like it's always been a weird thing when it comes to international sports.
Yeah, so it's like, mum, you just disowned.
Yeah, mums are such fair weather fans. Yeah, I don't know. I've been enjoying it because obviously a huge chunk of my friends are supporting England, and that kind of gives me the joy, I guess. Like for the semi-final, ventured out with them. It was good evening, good fun. But I'm not overly worried. If I could, give me a Brighton game any day, Henry. Finn, look at this. King Queen of clubs. There, finds the muck, Henry. Wow. Way the shortest stack, Henry.
Yeah, that's insanely tight for 6 bigs. Sorry, 7.
But just no one's close to him anymore in chips. Wow. Joel is going to pop it up. Rudolph folding ace 10. Doesn't go after him again. And an alternative king queen is played. This one, Dmitry in the big blind, has the king of diamonds on this ace 7 9 2 diamond flop. Joel. Well, backdoors galore.
Yeah. One that we probably just Dmitry does just fold. I think like 9-7 deuce, 2 diamonds. See it float, but the ace high boards where.
All right, guys. There it is in the chat. Which poker player is a former US Navy SEAL? I'll say it in the chat on the screen. Remember, guys, you've got to click that drop down. You've got to have joined in.
Well, the problem with this question, or with the answers, I should say, is that one of them isn't a poker player. So I'm not sure how. I'll let you guys at home figure that one out. But
I mean, where does it say professional poker player, Henry? All those 3 people play poker.
There we go. You're right. There you go.
Just gonna get you there. I'm gonna get you there on the wording. The technicality, guys, we got him.
Joey Pat said, "My mum cheers for the team with the more attractive goalkeeper." Chris Moneymaker was in the Air Force. This is a trick question. Oh damn! I went for Doyle Brunson, chat.
Big DB.
Oh, Joey Pants with the shade. Goes to them saying Henry with the shade. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, kind of with Joey on that one. You know, Nikita free bet ripping the ace queen into Pedro. There's a lot of yeah. Well, that guy's an interesting person, so we say that's the kindest way to put it, I think. And, yeah, I wouldn't take too much of what comes out of that brand, should we say, with too much authenticity. Anyway, we continue 7-handed. Dimitri's got the boots. He's had some hands, Henry. He's had some hands. Hard to see getting too much action here. Although, of course, Christian 10 deuce suited from the big. I guess it's going to appeal, Henry. No, all right, doesn't. Henry, I'm dreaming. I want to see some action.
Yeah, I was looking at it. I was like, nah, it's just not really the fair. I mean, Christian is obviously an extremely competent player and doesn't mind taking it post, but 10 deuce suited. It's interesting though, because I think Queen deuce sees a flop, so it's pretty close.
Mr. Willis just gets to write it in the chat in the way I was trying to say, in a slightly more diplomatic sense, Henry. But that's the nail meeting the head of the hammer over there. Christian limping in Queen 4 suited. Pedro says no. Thinks the kitchen's upstairs. Finn folded King Queen. What's he gonna do with his ace-6 with 4 blinds, Henry? Does fold once more.
It's waiting for that ladder, my man. Waiting for that ladder.
Yeah, I mean the ace-6 is the king queen suit. I'm kind of a little shocked by.
Hey, what's up, Tim? Timberlim 54. How's it going, my man?
Evening, Tim. Yes, Tim. Christian Rudolph is the Christian. Oh, the beast that is Rudolph. If you are just joining us, first of all, where have you been? What's going on? There's been no football to watch. There's no excuse, but we did lose Andras Nemeth in 9th place and Peter Chien in 8th. Kind of build this as potentially interesting to see what Nemeth would do, but just didn't go his way today. That's what happens. Pedro, though, he's had the run of the table so far, really dominating things up to now. And, you know, as poker goes, Henry, the deck's helped. You know, he's won the flip against Andreas for a small party. Kind of managed to pick up the bluff against Peter, but these things, you need to go your way. And, well, he's going to need to not do too many chips here because he's popped up this Queen 5. Mikhail's flopped top 2 on this King 8-7. And I assume we just... these are the weird spots, Henry. Help me. ICM, right? We got top 2. We do want to get more chips in, but how many kind of bluffs do we get to raise with here?
We have like a few check raises, right? Some like Jack 9s, Jack 10s. Especially like the Jack 10s and Jack 9s with like a heart. And a big continue from Pedro on the turn. And also, we're obviously going to have a bunch of this as well, where, okay, yes, it's an extremely wet and dangerous board. And we may want to try and like protect our hand a bit because of ICM, especially when we've got Finn on like, you know, what is it, 4 big blinds. But at the same time, Pedro's just going to have like so many barrel offs here with like, you know, this. I mean, the fact that he's double barreling Queen 5 of clubs, some of his hands like 9x, 10x, Jack X with a heart. Yeah, going to barrel in. We do get to just make more money by giving him a bit of rope, and that's exactly what happens. And yeah, I mean, what Pedro came in with, I want to say like 30 mil.
Yeah, I think he was 3rd in chips. I think, right? I think it was Christian chip leader with Mikhail, Yeah, so you must be about 25 mil, yeah, something like that. Around about average, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And yeah, courtesy of that Peter Chien bluff, Pedro kind of just got off to an absolute flyer and went from there.
Finn, wow. Down to 4 blinds. In the big blinds, we dealt king 5. Dmitry with ace 5. This is a cruel, cruel game. Now, does Mikhail go after it himself? I'm guessing so from what we've seen so far. Henry with this king 8. Either way, Finn's dominated.
Yeah, it's been it's a tad too tight. Like, I understand it. We don't know much about Finn, so I'm going to assume from just like what has happened since we've been 7-handed, that may be a qualifier. You know, they're playing for you know, life-changing money or, you know, biggest score to date. But just based off of the folds, and apologies, you know, if I'm wrong. But yeah, you know, just like folding the king queen suited. I think there are a couple of folds that he might look back at this and learn from, hopefully, you know, especially if this is, you know, his biggest score. It's going to be coming into a new amount of money once this tournament's over with, and hopefully he can just watch this back and look at some of the mistakes that he maybe made and grow from it. Yeah,
it's a pretty fair assumption, pretty fair evaluation of Henry, and, you know, has laddered up from what, guaranteed 13.6 to 21.6.
Yeah, exactly. But next page jump somewhat significant as well, especially if you have like qualified like a 6k, just shy of 6k page jump.
Nikita popping it up. Joel flatting with the 2-8s from the small, slightly awkward situation here for Joel. It's Nikita opening in this seat. Even Nikita's open a bit frisky, perhaps, Henry. Even with a hand as good as King Jack suited, with Finn on 2 blinds, it's kind of, I'd be scared if I were Joel when I get 2-8s and Nikita opens. I'd be like, really? Do I have to play this hand? Like, can you just flop me an 8? And for that reason, I wouldn't surprise me at all if he just folds this, Henry. As crazy as that sounds, I know we've got 8 and there was only 1 over. We've got some backdoor stuff, but
yeah, I'll probably be folding this turn though. It's always a really difficult one to barrel, but mandatory barrel nonetheless. IMO. Yeah, it gets it through.
Certainly does.
Important pickup there for Nikita. Kind of levels himself now with Joel and Dmitry.
Nikita, ace king, gets to raise again.
Yeah, rags for everyone else.
Nice little pickup. How are we all doing, guys? This free roll is kicking off in what, a little under 5 minutes, I should say. Got 4.5 minutes till it goes. $500 in the pot to be won. Head on over to Party. The password is WCC Party 2021. And Finn's found a hand, Henry. Here we go. We're down to the sub 2 big blinds. I'm going to go out on a limb and say the ace king is going in.
You know what? I'm all for it. I'm all for the Finn spin.
The Finn spin. And, well, just going to have to beat the Queen 4 offsuit. We've seen the Queen 4 offsuit try and take on a short stack already today. That time was Mikhail against Peter. Oh, here we go. The 10-6. The sort of like the implied collusion, Henry. The old, I just call from the small, you're going to call from the big. Nothing else is going to happen because everyone wants Finn out. You know, it's in no one's benefit for him to hang around. There we go. Pedro flops a pair. This is just going to check all the way down. I say that, of course. If Pedro does improve on the turn to 2 pair plus, then I'm sure he will be betting. But
yeah. Oh, okay. Some chop outs now.
There are some trouble. There's also some win outs, of course. Still hitting ace for a king, but doesn't. All right, Jack on the river will consign Finn to 7th place, unfortunately. He'll pick up 21.7k for that 7th place finish. Good run, Finn. Like you say, Henry, obviously may... well, I hope it looks back at this and looks at some of those hands and thinks, okay, maybe I was a little overcautious in there, but sometimes you come into these games, Henry, with a mindset and you're thinking, right, I'm going to try and ladder. It's big money. And maybe just overcook it a little bit, especially as the dynamic changes, maybe. Because there were spots there, Henry, where Finn did have to fold a lot of hands because Peter was equally short. But once that dynamic shifts, perhaps, if we're being critical, which we do have to be, unfortunately, maybe didn't adjust back to where he needed to be at. But nonetheless, 21k in the bin. And
21k.
Down to 6 already, Henry. These guys are motoring through.
Yeah, the first 15, 20 minutes felt like we could have had 2-3 bust outs, and then everyone kept surviving. And now, with Finn busting, I see some GGs in the chat for him. Dmitry, Nikita, and Joel kind of all going to have to just test the waters for a bit, really, and unfortunately, just you got to kind of just let the chip leader do what the chip leader is going to do in this spot when he just has this many chips.
Yeah. This is the fun part of tournament poker, isn't it, Henry? When you get to the chip leader on the final table when it's still this multi-handed and it's 6-handed and 7-handed, like you said, you had 40% of the chips. Pardon me. It's just this is when it's poker's most fun. When you're that guy.
Yeah, it's a fun spot to be in. That's for sure. I'm sure everyone at home's experienced being the overwhelming chip leader at some point or another, and there's nothing quite like it.
Yeah, it doesn't happen too often to you, and it certainly doesn't happen too often when there's 6 figures on the line. But that is the spot Pedro has played his way into, and he has played flawlessly up to now. Henry, it has to be said.
Yeah, actually, I think I've butchered a lot of my FTs where I've been overwhelming chip leader. It's normally when I'm middle of the pack that I just seem to somehow go on a bit of a run because I'm just a natural born nit.
Well, no, there's something to be said to that, Henry. Obviously, we see it. I'm not saying this is the case with you, but we see it with some people where they over adjust. They're not sure what they're supposed to do. They think, I'm supposed to play crazy, and they end up just blasting off. And some people aren't comfortable taking that role just because that's the optimum way to play with the chip lead. Doesn't mean if you don't feel like you have the skill set, the confidence, doesn't mean you necessarily have to play that way. We've seen plenty of chip leaders in these tournaments just still kind of play fairly snug, open up a little bit, but don't overdo it because it's still the same thing. It's still a tournament, even as chip leader. By folding in a lot of situations, you are kind of making money, and even thinking of laddering as a chip leader isn't necessarily wrong. Like I say, if perhaps you feel you're outmatched or you're just a little unsure with how to play that style.
Yeah, that's very true. M-Funk asking about the free roll. Yeah, unfortunately, mate, we were just talking about German regulations. We wish we could have you guys. We obviously, I would say the majority of my poker friends are German, and it's a shame, man. It's a shame, but hopefully, we're hopeful for the future. Hopefully that stuff gets sorted out. Cooking it, saying, looking good, Henry and James. Oh, too kind, my man. Too kind.
There we go. You got some love at last. Henry got some love. Look at this, Henry. This is looking good for Christian. First time we've seen Pedro dealt into kind of a bad situation here. The 8-7-3 checks it back, turns the ace. All right, guys, we can pack up. We can go home. This one's over. I'm calling it now. There's no way Pedro doesn't win this tournament, Henry. I'm calling it. We're done.
Too easy. Oh, Dan's been dropping some bangers.
MJ in the house. Welcome back. Oh man, from down under.
Hey, MJ. It doesn't feel like 4 a.m. I was just like, wow, MJ's up really late, but it's 8 a.m. where you are, MJ, I guess. Something along those lines. The big sizing on the turn, by the way, just gets Christian to fold the nines. Easy as that. 7 a.m. Good morning to you, MJ. Thanks, saying, James, can you unblock my wife on Tinder, please?
She blocked me, man. What can I say?
Talben is saying it's sad to watch a day 3 chip leader get cocky and donk off all of his chips. Are we talking about me? Like, is that like a personal jab, or is that something you just like a statement that you've seen before? That kind of like feels like it's being thrown my way.
You feel like a victim, Henry?
Yeah, what's going on?
Make rule. Welcome back. Good to see you too. Good to see all of you. You've missed us all. 5 weeks we've been off air. Hope you guys have all been enjoying your summer, enjoying your summer of sport that it's been. Certainly, if you're into that thing. Hang on. I think someone's trying to bluff me in the free roll, Henry, but I'm not sure. Do I make the call or do I just surrender?
Well, have you got a hand that can make the call, or what do you mean? Or you just have one of those feelings where you're like, I don't believe him?
That's first hand of the free. I'm just going to let him have it. I'm going to let it go, Henry. I'm going to let it go. It was a three-way part. I've kind of had a really good hand to call with a guess, but, just believe them. Just believe them. What I'll do is I'll fold and throw a pigeon that way. There we go. That's the optimum. That is the GTO line.
The GTO line.
Oh, Christian with the boots. No one's going to dance.
How about I say, nah, bro, you're all just talking about big stack poker. I'm only teasing, man. I'm only joking, buddy. Cooking saying Henry getting oddly defensive there. Listen, all right, I've spewed off a few times.
We've all done it.
Spewed off a few times.
You know how easy it used to be to spew off Henry before, we had all these resources that told us how we're supposed to play certain hands and what situations. You know how much easier it was to spew off when there was, like, no one really knew what they were doing. It was just intuition and kind of, self-work. Oh, this has worked in the past, man. It was very easy to spew it off back in the day, let me tell you.
Yeah, you just used to like stare the guy down, right? Like, I don't like this guy's sunglasses. I don't believe him. So,
basically, yeah.
I've seen some of the old highlight reels on YouTube from 2010 and whatnot. Looked like a fun time to play poker. Mfox said, "Who do you all think will win on Sunday?" Oh. See, now it's been put to me. I put James in a tough spot. I'm kind of like similar to him. I don't really want to say. I think it's a flip. I can honestly see it being an annihilation by the Italians. I can see a certain England side crushing the Italians, and I can also see it being a very tight game and going into extra time, potentially penalties. I don't know, man. It's just such a tough game to call. It really depends on whether Pickford shows up, and whether England's defense isn't sloppy like they were against a couple of games where they got a bit messy. But what I can tell you, boys and girls, is that Joel has binked trips on the turner. I don't see any reason for Pedro to slow down here. Unblocking hearts, unblocking 8-7, and it does just knuckle it back.
And Ace River as well. Does Joel just slip this one over to Pedro, and then Pedro just gets to potentially check back these two jacks? Well, I guess he's got a strong enough hand to still value bet. Certainly with the amount of bluffs he's going to want to have. Does Joel go for block, Henry? Living juice a little raise. Wow. No, goes for the overbet. All right. Again, completely reasonable. There were a lot of options here, Henry, on this 10-9-4. And then kind of brick run out. I mean, not brick, but all the draws bricking, I should say. There we go.
Yeah, I think it makes sense to use a polarizing size here, given how everything bricks. The Jack's just Pedro, just a non-believer, and Joel being given a ton of credit there for exactly that.
Look at these hands out here, Henry. We've got the Ace Jack suited, we've got the Ace Queen, we've got King Queen, we've got sixes. We're gonna see some. Well, are we just gonna see Dmitry jam again? We've seen a lot of these he's 3-bet jammed a number of times. Yeah, it does just rip it. And well, Henry, is Nikita going to get curious?
From what we've seen, I'd say no. We are going to be dominating some of Dmitry's rejams.
I mean, if I'm sat there in Nikita's shoes, I've just seen Dmitry do this a number of times, and I know they've all been good hands. But if you're not watching the stream, do you let that kind of sink in and leak in, and you start to second guess yourself? It's always a potential, I feel. But there we go. He doesn't, Henry. He doesn't. Nikita gets away from it. And guys, just like that, we have reached our first break of the final table. So, well, before we go on it, quickly head on over to Party if you haven't already done so. The free roll is underway. The password is, of course, WCC Party 2021. But myself and Henry, we'll be back in 5 minutes for more of this World Cup of Cards final table.
Neil, as we said, where we were talking about yesterday, they might have had his head a little bit down at the end of the night last night because he, I think he finished on a low for the last 3 hours as far as the chips were concerned. He did up to about 200K at one point. He didn't seem to win a pot.
Do we have a list of what people are in for on makeup at this table? I mean, that should always have to be declared.
We did try and find out, you know, who was in the cheapest for this. Apparently, Jacob won his golden chip in Punta Cana. There was a big tournament, party poker tournament there a couple of months ago.
So Jacob is the fun runner here in the field. He's the equivalent of the guy dressed as the giant banana in the London Marathon.
Okay. Chidwick's in a spot where he's looking for folding. He's just going to. Does he have enough chips to do this?
Yeah, he started with what, 23 blinds today? Is that right? And oh, it's a trouble flop for Chidwick. Let's see.
And if you're going to play the 8-6, this is one of the flops.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I met his lovely parents outside. They've made a 2.5-hour journey. This is their first time seeing him play live on a final table, and unfortunately they gave him the superior Bach of when he went in saying, see you in a couple hours, don't make it too quick, which is
oh, charming.
They'll learn as experienced sweaters that you never Bach a man like
well,
that.
it didn't stop him defending the big blind with his hand, and you've got to say he's hit his flop.
So to me, shoving is one of the plays here. He's given himself a chance to get away from it on the turn. It looks like, is he?
Yes.
Oh, he won't be getting away from it now. Well, Stephen will be like he's a short stack coming in here, but I'd say there's a level that he's thinking of, that he's planning to get to where he'd be back in as favourite to win the tournament. He's certainly the most experienced of the big paydays.
He's got a great chance of a double up now. And he was always the one who was most likely to play the short stack well at this table. He was never going to panic, but this is a great opportunity for him to get right back in amongst it.
I'd like to know if he was prepared to fold on the turn. I'm guessing he was prepared to fold on the turn to a shove.
If anybody was going to, well, filled up.
Well, having been there and done it before, certainly.
So,
yeah, but, you know, it does bring a huge amount of pressure in itself if you're not used to it.
I don't mean to be pedantic, but I'm finally settling
now.
When
are you going to stop?
That the blinds are 2.5 and 5 million.
Yeah,
that's my final. That's my final offer.
So basically, you were
both. He's trying to do too much too early here, Park.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, you can say, what's he doing? It's amazing what the adrenaline does to you, right?
Now this is great. The way that she has.
Has she called it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
This is perfect.
I like that.
She had a long thing.
That's a really
she's
strong
after him
play
for,
under this sort of pressure.
She's after him for the whole stack.
But by the way, she is also saying to herself that she's willing to fold on an ace-high board, right? I mean, that's also what she's...
I don't think that was a major part of her thinking. She's just setting a trap. I think she knew that Neil was playing back at her. That if she re-raised, she was going to lose him.
Yeah,
she's prepared to take the chance, and it's not a bad flop for her, is it? With the King of Hearts in her hand,
it's fairly insane.
She might just raise now.
She's going to hang him. You don't realize
people used to do this kind of play an awful lot, Barney. the lads who won't be doing it again. Dave Coldclough.
He did?
He was doing this way before anybody was. I mean, he'd often played the aces very similar.
Well, it's a very old school way
Oh, as
to play.
Maria, you mean?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's a very old school way to play against aggressive players, and it's worked to perfection. She knew. Oh, she's still thinking now. No, she's waiting. She's calling quickly. Checking that the King of Hearts is there.
Still.
She knew this was the best way to get paid against the hand she was beating, and she's calling now. She always takes her time, all the time, and that's fine. And she's got 100% in this pot. He's got no way of winning it, and she played it to get the absolute lot. That was brilliant.
Welcome back, one and all, to this, the World Cup of Cards final table. And, well, Henry, it's been rather hectic so far. We've seen a fair amount of action and some eliminations, with Pedro ruling the roost as things stand.
Yeah, it's action-packed start to the final table for sure. There, like we said already, a few spots where we could have gone like six-handed within the first couple of orbits, and the short stacks kept on surviving. But yeah, I see people in the chat pointing out that hand replay that we had as well. That was a fun hand, wasn't it? I love those replays.
I actually missed it. I was just getting I was away from the table at break, so I didn't see the hand. But was it which hand was it, Henry? Fill me in.
7-5-0 from the big. Just 3-betting Maria, who opened.
Oh yeah.
The kings from +2 and just like barreling off on 10-9-4 heart, and Maria just calls with kings, the king of hearts.
You got to show dead. You got to show some gumption, Henry, at times. You got to go for these things. And speaking of going for it, that's what these guys are doing here. These final 6 battling out, still playing 350-700. Nikita looking in pretty reasonable shape here, and thankfully shouldn't be put to too tough a decision here. Oh no, Joel does go for, I guess, the small bet here, Henry, to check back rivers.
Definitely going to be checking back once called. It looks like it's just gone open, call, check, small bet, call, and then small on the turn as well. No reason for Nikita to jam. And Joel just going to take his showdown, still beating some hands that cool turns, some like 8x with a diamond. And yeah, Nikita going to move up to what, 15-16 mil?
Yeah,
overtaking Dmitry.
Yeah, those two. We'll see now the two shorties with 20 blinds apiece. Playing 30 levels, of course. And the rich just keep getting richer. Until now, we saw Pedro, finally lost the pot to Joel a moment ago. And what's going on here? Dmitry popping up King Queen under the gun. Nikita's going to make away, but Mikhail with 2 6s in the big. Certainly a dreamy spot to be, Henry. I love this. You just get to click call for 1 blind in the big blind with a pair. Try and flop the joint.
Yeah, especially first the under the gun range. Going to continue on the 9-5-4 rainbow if Dmitry does decide to bet. He doesn't. Instead, he knuckles back and takes the lead on the Queen of Spades turn. Mikhail, with all the options here, could bet small. Can just knuckle over and reevaluate if Yurasov fires out. Expect to see a big bet here from Dmitry. Something close to like 2.7 mil, I guess, like 3/4 pot. Oh man, Henry Kilbane, ladies and gentlemen.
He's on it today, guys. He's on it.
It's been away. We've been away for like 5 weeks. Today, I don't know. I feel sharp, man. Even though it's 4 a.m. right now. But like I said, I'm excited to be back. I genuinely missed you, man. I missed calling the action.
Oh, look at him. He's softening up, guys. He's always been soft, isn't he? Oh, Henry. He's making it harder to pick on him, though. He's making it harder to bully. I like teasing him. Guys, you do know I like teasing him. He's making it hard. Look at this. Pedro has to go after Joel once more. This time, there's two little jacks.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see the 4-bet click back this time at these stack depths. Earlier on, obviously, it's massively different dynamic. Whereas now, Joel just, unfortunately, in a bit of an ICM cage of his own now because of Nikita and Dmitry. How about I say, I think that's the best way to beat this new meta. Just let the young guys bluff off all their chips. It certainly does feel that way sometimes. Don't know how much you're playing nowadays, but yeah, sometimes, especially online, you get shown some very funky hands at showdown. You're like, oh, all right. You end up justifying some of the looser calls that you can end up making as well. Oh boy. Hello, flop.
Wow. Here we go then. Here we go. Dmitry, how are you running? The strict draw against the second set.
I guess we do have like 7 6s. I don't think we get to lead too much on this board though.
Does Mikhail just take this up, given how wet the board is, and how we just get Dmitry to stack off with quite a lot of hands now that might not want to stack off later on?
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. I'm just kind of confused by the lead personally, because are we leading to like call off? Like, I mean, Christian obviously with the overpair range advantage, opening from +1. Mikhail just like piling.
I guess Christian was never going to raise this flop, right? If we do lead from Dmitry's point of view, so he's thinking, right, don't get raised by Christian. Probably. Obviously now gets raised by Mikhail, and you're like, what's the situation here?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Christian raises his overpair. Does call it off. Okay.
Does call it off. Turns hearts, Henry. Ooh, picked up all those additional outs, but not to be. Running aces. Send Dmitry home in 27.6. Mikhail started the day at second in chips, and that's back where he is now with that 47.5 million. And all of a sudden, pressure falls a little more onto Nikita and Joel as the two shorter stacks. And once more, Pedro popping up again. And Christian, his turn with 2 6s.
Some GGs in the chat for Yurasov. Don't you
love.
worry, boys and girls. He's got plenty in the bank. Absolute crusher.
Henry says cancel the GoFundMe page.
Yeah. He's a bit of a beast, isn't he? Good old Dmitry.
Yeah, just having a look now. What is 3.3 million in live earnings. Guys, we have a sport bar question. Here it is. Who is the new leader of the Global Poker Index rankings? Remember, you got to click that top right widget. You got to register yourself, or else we can't track your answers. Please do that. Now then, we also, of course, in the break, did the draw for those tickets from the first passage of play. So I do have the winners, and we'll get that announced in a moment when the play allows. When there's a little break. And this feels like a break, but it's Pedro. He's been on the gas, shall we say, from the off since taking the chip lead very early on the final table. Does lose a bit more.
MJ putting it in a really, really good way, saying, "Holy shit, what a flop!" Yeah, kind of have to call. I think it's one of those ones where Yurasov might take the spot where others may not. Because if Yurasov does get the double there, Yurasov, very competent player, with 40 big blinds, gonna potentially be able to kind of just like run away with it. May see, qualifiers or weaker players just not take that spot necessarily. So I don't know. I'm on the fence about it, but look, it's Dmitry Yurasov. He's going to be ahead against some like Queen Jack of Hearts, Queen 10 Jack 10 of Hearts. some of those hands that Mikhail does flat on the well, he's going to be flipping against those hands, I should say. And Puma WPC saying ICM wise, question mark, probably a bad call. If you ask James Dempsey, little unknown fact maybe is that ICM is actually a myth.
It's not a myth, it's a conspiracy. It's worse than a myth. It's
yes.
deliberately perpetrated myth.
It's called intentionally created myth. That's what ICM stands for.
Yeah, there we go. I like that, Henry. I like what you did there. Intentionally created myth. Very well done, Henry. Very well done. I like that. I like that a lot. It was all made up by those German crushers a few years ago to make everyone else fold. Speaking of crushers, Rudolph, 2 aces popping it up. The aces, they've been making an appearance this evening. They haven't had much action though. Mikhail 9-7 off in the big, having a little think. All right, guys, those ticket winners. Remember, these are the people who guessed, well, not guessed. They knew the answers to our question. Let's be honest, Henry. Some of them guessed our questions in the Sport Buff, and they are each receiving $11 Day Legends tickets, and they are Homeless on Wi-Fi. Good name. Cedarbam 3-bet, Cognitive Dissidence. Wow, we've got some names today. Blackbet 67, Shadow Legend, Bry 621, Bad Habit Poker, Chris 96Y, and KRK 2021. And finally, Big Daddy Kings 22. If you heard your name, you have won an $11 Day Legends ticket. Those names are in the chat now as well, in case you think you might have heard your name and I just mangled it. There they are. Congratulations, best of luck.
Fantastic names in there. I love doing these giveaways because you just never know what you're going to get. Deng said, I just booked my stay into the Henry Kilbait suite at the Flamingo. It's a room on the ground floor with a single bed and no windows. All right, mate. Okay. All right. Fine. You win.
Good work.
See Mikhail barrel here. Back to diamond's going to be able to barrel on, King X, Jack X as well. Put some of Christian's Queen X in tough spots, and also Christian's just going to have so many folds on this flop anyway. 5 of spades turn, maybe one we just kind of give up now. Always grim, but especially the 5 of spades, 4-5, now turning third pair. And not having like a spade in our hand or any way to improve against the queen. Now it's a fun one, I guess. Like in before overbet, it would be seriously out of line. Yeah, it goes big.
There we go. Mikhail has been active and ramping it up. Love to see it. Love this, Henry.
Yeah, obviously a great card to barrel on the river. Just like putting all the Queen X in a tough spot. I don't think Christian's never folding top pair. And
good call, Christian. Good call.
Talbot said, nice meme. We're all about the memes here, my man. Cooking it saying, Henry, when's the first Overbet Express stream? We're going live tomorrow. As mentioned before, we're going to be streaming some high stakes cash games and tournaments on Party Poker, and then Sunday is the big stream, boys and girls. So we're going to have 20, 25, maybe $30,000 worth of buy-ins. So tomorrow's the test stream, James.
Right. What's the menu tomorrow? What's on the menu? What can we look forward to tomorrow if we tune in?
Tomorrow, just easing into it, working on the dynamic, having like the group of us streaming. So got to just be like a more chilled stream tomorrow, just kind of like warming up with the crowd, seeing what people want to see more of, and just having fun with it.
Right.
And then obviously Sunday.
The soft launch, Henry. The soft launch.
The soft launch. But Sunday, there's 5Ks, 1K, some 10Ks in there as well. So should be a fun one Sunday, but tomorrow we're just getting used to it. We're going to warm up, make some mistakes for sure, and just try and have fun with it. So yeah, any of you guys that are a fan of my work already and want to check that out,
I have to second it. I think Deng would make a fantastic mod for your channel, Henry.
All right, okay. Well, show up tomorrow, and we'll talk. We'll
Christ,
talk.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Hey. Oh dear, guys, check it out. Check it out tomorrow. Of course, you should check it out tomorrow. You should also check out the free roll that's going off right now on Party. It's $500 WCC free roll, and password at the top of the screen there. WCC Party 2021. Head on over. I'm battling away. I'm not battling particularly well, but I am battling away. Try and get some of that free money.
And Wild Joe coming in said, "No way that room has a bed. Just an inflatable mattress on the floor." Facts. Oh boy, this has gone in the middle, and Queen Ball corner pocket.
There we go.
All right.
Wow, I got it. Was that? I actually missed that because I was playing a hand of the free roll, but
I think it was an open jam.
Yeah, it must just be a jam, right? Yeah. Yeah, just a jam for like 15 blinds of 4-8. All right. Well, Joel not happy to see that. Mikhail, of course, not happy to see that either. Joel now by far the shortest. As our good friend Jeff Gross would say, the lowest risk premium, Henry.
There we go. Just to show you guys how committed I am to this stream, okay? Bottles mess up the green screen, and I've been advised by the fantastic tech team that we have behind the scenes to never drink out of a bottle on stream. So here's my empty coffee mug with leftover coffee in it. I'm about to pour water in that. And if anyone ever says I'm not committed to this stuff, then just like send them a clip of me drinking water mixed with, 2-hour cold coffee.
There we go, guys. There we go. Look at this. I mean, chat. What do we think? By now, should he not have like a standard operating procedure, like a little checklist pre-stream? Maybe we could get that for Henry. He's doing a lot more streaming coming up. Maybe we need to give him like a little checklist of things he might need, like a clean glass and a nice bottle of water. Who knows?
I need to get one of those Phil Galfond jugs. He's got like a I don't even know. It's like a 15-liter water bottle, man.
Right.
Come on.
Bit of overkill, perhaps.
Maybe. Pedro still the overwhelming chip leader. Well, mind you, I say that. Christian, he lost the chip lead very early on through no fault of his own. Some could argue that the pocket eight's check raise was his own doing, but hey, was then put in a bit of a tough spot, had to kind of, lay low. He's not allowed to run over the table, but he's managed to just chip away, pick his spots, and kind of keep Pedro on his toes. And continuing to do so here with the 4x. He's been extremely balanced in these blind v blind confrontations.
That's
so nice to see him doing it with the 4-3 suited.
Pedro with King Jack flats in position, flops top pair with backdoor diamonds, backdoor straight. Christian got some backdoors of his own. A little interest. Some things can still happen in this hand.
Switch up.
Wild Joe.
Wild Joe's been one of my guys, man, from the get-go. When I first started doing commentary, he was in the mix, keeping me company, making the Twitch chat very entertaining, and he's always looked after me. Been around for a while. I think the reason he's... Oh, yeah. Hang on.
Boom. Blast. Have some of that. Big bet. Pedro, though, with certainly enough to continue. And, well, Henry, we were saying kind of his own doing. The last one, the 2-8 you were referencing from right at the start of the tournament, pretty reasonable. This one seems a little out of line. The zero equities always seem really out of line to me. I don't know, but I guess Pedro had a lot of continues on that board that do fold to a second barrel, and Christian's a little unlucky just to get... Ooh, wow. Okay. What's this? Wow. What? What was that going after, Henry? The really small bet there. Is that just some missed combo draws, or?
Yeah, I think it's just getting like the draws that have... you say the draws. Queen Jack improves to second pair.
Yeah.
Ace Queen O, which I guess Pedro does have like sometimes, improves to nut second pair.
That's hence my confusion. It's...
Yeah, maybe like, I don't know, like 10-9, 10-8.
Right.
Does 10-9 stick around on the turn though for 80%? I'm not sure. I don't know.
Well, whatever it is, it's a dent in. Rudolph goes back down to 35 mil. But look at this, Pedro closing in on half the chips in play. Henry, there are 200 million chippies up for grabs. It's just short of half of those with 5 players remaining. Dreamy scenario.
Yeah, I think everyone else at the table would have seen that showdown and just be like, oh, God's sake, Christian, Rudolph, just like giving the chip leader more reasons to abuse the ICM dynamic that's already heavily in his favor. And we're getting close to the blind level now where Pedro could really abuse Nikita Mikheev by just like not necessarily open jamming, but opening close to range on the button once Joel's folded.
Right.
Yeah. We got a fun hour ahead of us, that's for sure. I'm curious to see how this plays out. I mean, if Pedro gets up to like 120 mil and scores another KO, then I think it might just be GG's for everyone else.
Well, I mean, I felt that earlier when you had the sort of 80 with, what was it, 7 left, but every step he takes closer. I mean, yeah, it can all change. It can all change. Very easily.
Well, just saying the word is trolled. That is true. Well, Joe, I do feel like early on in my Twitch career, if you will, you would have been banned from any other channel on Twitch, and I just, I thought you were hilarious, mate. So just kept you around. But yeah, it was funny, James, because definitely had a few people that had been banned from other poker streams, and they're like, "Oh, Henry doesn't ban us, let's just hang out here." So ended up growing a bit of a community with a bunch of reprobates, and it's fun.
The Twitch chat refugees.
That's it. Yeah,
threw open the doors. So come on in.
The asylum.
You've been sent elsewhere, but you're more than welcome here. Well, we're glad you're here.
See people talking about online poker being rigged, and
20 years on, still,
yeah,
these things still occur.
People never like they. I don't want to tarnish everyone with the same brush, obviously, but a lot of people always seem to look outwards, right? And they can never look inwards at themselves and like, maybe I'm the one who's wrong. Maybe I need to start, putting some honest hours in the lab and focusing on improving myself rather than blaming every flip and 2080 on online poker being rigged, boys and girls. Trust me, they're not incentivized to rig the the 550 tournament that you're in when they've got millions and millions and millions on the line in terms of company assets and integrity and whatnot. It's quite hilarious though that we always humor this topic.
Guys, you add it up. You go and watch all the cash games, all the tournaments, everything. You just think all those little rake dollars going down the chute. Just think of it from a strategic point of view. Why would you want to juice that up? Why would you want to risk that? Anyway, this one looks interesting, both with the double gutter, both chasing Broadway, but both find an ace on the end.
Blocking just seems like you're asking to just get binned. Like block folding ace 10. I don't know.
Check just seems reasonable, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Check and just beat the queen X's and whatever at showdown.
Actually, maybe blocking's not bad. I mean, yeah, I guess. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about checking or blocking. I think both seem reasonable. Block jamming, I guess, it's a legit option. Joel with a tough one. Does river top pair, but obviously losing to a lot of stuff.
Right. A really interesting spot actually, because obviously you've seen the bet here, but really not beating a lot. a lot of bets. A spot. I don't know, Henry. I know it's always weird. We've improved. It's a small bet.
Yeah, I think Mikhail's still going to be blocking like some of his queen X with the heart.
Right.
So
King, queen, maybe kings even.
Makes sense. Then I'm the exact same, mate. I play like a damo as well, but my opponents aren't good enough for it to work. I couldn't agree with that sentiment. More, how about I say, I respect a dude that can respect a good troll. I do love a good troll. Oh boy, how about that flop?
All right, Jamie Nick's in the house. Good evening, my man. But yeah, this is the curtains for Joel potentially flop here, guys. Got the butchers on Jack 10-9. Mikhail with top 2. Second time flopping top 2, peeling from the big blind. Did earlier with the King 8. Just check, called that flop. A very different situation to this. A very different board texture. Suspect him just to take this upstairs. Henry, Joel just rifle this in on this board. Do we just call and get it on some turns? I feel like it's just going to be a jam, isn't it?
I don't hate calling and like keeping in some like queen 9, 9-7, 10-8 type hands in. I don't know if Mikhail's check raising those.
Right.
SPR less than 1 going to the turn. It's actually a really grim turn. Mikhail now losing to obviously ace jack, ace 10, although I think maybe ace 10 just gives up on the flop. It just falls to the check raise. See how he decides to proceed. Not really beating any hands that call. Kings may be one of the only hands, and yeah, just lets it go. All right.
Wow. Well, there we go. I suggested potentially just ripping the flop. I'd be out the door. Joel survives by calling and seeing. Obviously, one of the worst cards you can see.
MJ, apologies, chat. We obviously focusing on the poker, trying to catch up the chat at the same time. MJ said, Henry, what's the poker play life in Thailand? Any mates there? Is it lonely doing your own thing? So I'm here with the boys that I was in Vegas with, but 2 of them actually, well, one of them's left, one of them's leaving on Saturday. But hopefully, been trying to get my girlfriend out here for a while, having some visa issues. So if she can't get here by next week, I'm probably going to head back to Europe myself. But in terms of poker, I've actually just been taking a bit of time off, working on a couple of projects, as I mentioned, and slowly getting back into the grind the last couple of days. Just been chilling. I think Thailand's one of those places where you can just kind of take a bit of time off and just enjoy the fruits of Thailand in terms of
and the fruits of your labor, Henry. The fruits of your labor. You know, you've been playing a fair amount of poker this last little while, hasn't it? You had the USA trip and.
And Jamnex, how's it going, my man? I know James already gave you a shout. I'd like to say hi to you and Ellie regardless. And MJ, visa issues in Thailand with tours of doubt that you can just flash your library card. Yes, it's a bit of a weird one. But hey, hopefully it gets sorted.
Pedro, Jack 9. Popping up onto Nikita's big blind. And yeah, Nikita in that spot, kind of waiting for Joel to do something, I guess, Henry. Ooh, hello. This is me saying potentially waiting for something. Goes for it. Nikita with the 3-bet with 5 deuce suited from the big blind. Something like that, Pedro. You can't have it all your own wipe out. Nice to see.
Then calling you the Tom Brady of poker commentary, I have absolutely no idea who Trevor Lawrence is. But if I'm being compared to like an American footballer, I'll take it. I don't mind.
Yeah, well, don't know if you do want to take that one.
Oh, really?
Best.
Go on. What is he not good or?
I mean, very young, but.
Okay. Fair. I don't know what to say to that. I'll take it regardless. Jamnik's watching us from the PC and the phone. Bumping up the viewer count. Appreciate it, my man. I did just Google him. I just saw that he's 21 years old and apparently a prodigy. So
the NFL is filled. The history of the NFL is filled with number one draft pick QBs who don't cut it. But yeah, I mean, the latest prospect. Tom Brady, meanwhile, drafted 199. 100, yeah, 199 or 200. 199, I think it was. Worked out all right.
oh boy,
Mikhail, the Butchers, Nikita, 10s. Here we go. This feels very much like it could be a good game, Nikita. Henry, this is just kind of perfect setup for 4-bet jam, is it not?
yeah, cut off versus button. It's just I think it's just GG's. We got live diamonds, live clubs, and 2 clean outs. But yeah, I don't think flatting out of position SPR is going to be what, like 2 going to the flop. It's might be showers here.
Good evening, Aaron. Welcome. You're here for a spicy one. 5 left in this, the World Cup of Cards. Nikita feels like he's just been dealt into a horrible situation here that is likely to lead to their elimination.
Especially when Mikhail is going to have 3-bet folds, given the fact that when Joel folds out the small, Nikita has to fold a bunch.
Okay.
So I wouldn't blame him for going broke here.
Decides to just flat Henry. I'm kind of surprised with the flat because it feels like it's one of these sort of weird situations in poker, but it feels like the flat is the sort of higher variance line. Like we end up going broke post flop against hands that maybe we fold out pre. I don't know. It feels always somehow feels a bit weirder to me. A bit more of a gamble with the flat, but maybe just maybe ends up not going bust in his hand because of it. Let's see. Check calls once, turn a brick.
It's actually really nice unblocking the having the king of spades and the queen of spades on board. Obviously gives Nikita more queen x suited combo, or one more, but sometimes counts.
Guys, we have a Sport Pipe question incoming any moment, so please, if you haven't already done so, click the widget, click the Start Now button or whatever it's called, something like that, so we can track your answers. Because if you haven't done that, we don't know who's answering the question. It just gives us anonymous players. If you get the question right, go into the draw. You can win some of those $11 tickets that we give out after each break. And, well, Mikhail wins the pot. He could have won a lot more. He would have won my stack, Henry, if I was in Nikita's shoes. But has to settle for just taking the pot as it was. But now gets 2 jacks the following hand and jumps back into the action.
I feel like I'll be letting Lynn down here if I don't get this one right. I know of her most recent one.
If in doubt, Henry, go for the high number. At least then be like, oh, I thought you'd done even more.
The poker world doesn't deserve Lynn. She's an absolute sweetheart. Got a lot of time for her. Just hilarious.
Joel ripping it in. Ace 9 of hearts. His tournament has reached that stage. The open jam and hope stage, Henry.
Hey, Aaron says, "Sup lads, how's Wigan today, Henry?" It's rainy, mate. Rainy. Yeah, it's funny actually. We've been blessed here with like 3 weeks of just pristine weather. It's monsoon season in Thailand, and yesterday, this huge storm rolled in, and I was like, "What, really? We haven't done commentary in 5 weeks? Like the internet's gonna cut out?" But touch wood, it's been pretty stable so far. But there's been a massive storm, and it's still ongoing. So I'm hoping it holds up.
Okay. New spanners to throw into the works, eh? You know, the old storms interfering with play.
Yeah, it's been pretty frustrating for us, especially for the boys that have been grinding. Just been like disconnecting pretty much every other day when there's a storm. That can be pretty brutal, especially when you're like grinding cash, for example, and get to the river and there's like, I don't know, 100 bigs in the middle and you just DC.
Yeah, it's not what you're after, Henry. It's not what you're after. It's like the old school, the old days when I first started playing online on dial-up. You always had the disconnect sweat was a real one. Shout out to anyone in the chat. Remember those days grinding on dial-up? It was fun, wasn't it? It's sheer panic.
Wow, Pedro just finds the double barrel.
Relentless. He is relentless.
Double barrel gets through. Was that just like a button open and a big blind defend? Feels a bit tight to just fold the ace queen there. Maybe just being a bit, you know, a bit results oriented, but ace queen, we do just under rep our hand pre. Feels a bit on the tight side.
Tell you what, Henry, Pedro's popping this one up. Not going to get it through, but if he had, would have breached the 100 million chip mark. Nikita, ace of 10 of diamonds. It's going to play, I guess, just rip this in over Pedro's opening range. Yeah, there we go. Nikita doesn't mind having that seat. Downwind from the big stack. Joel, 2 queens. Not going to get any love. Typical. Do we go? Is this a limp, Henry? I guess we just limp a lot from the small, and queen's certainly good enough to be trapping, or is he gonna ever raise us up?
Has he limped so far? Small blind? Oh, the first one. I don't know. Maybe I have to take what I was saying before back. The first limp's not a trap.
There must have been some, haven't there? There must be some. Oh no! Oh no! The saving grace, Henry, is the king on board, but starting this with, what, 12 blinds back, it feels like this could easily be the end of Joel's race.
Obviously not folding to 1.
Well, it's got better and worse. Picks up a flush draw, but that means he has to stick around.
Yeah, half pot. Oh, wow, he just checks it. All right.
And the old bet check bet line, Henry. Our old classic rears its head.
Yeah, once he gets checked 2 twice here, I think Christian will find the value bet.
The old bet check bet.
Wow, he doesn't. Okay.
Oof, wow. Joel must be when he sees the go check, he's like, oh, nice, okay, I win that one at least. And then no, you don't. Sorry. Very surprised that. Very surprised, Henry. When Joel has just like all the king X that. Wow. Very, very interesting spot. Very curious about that one. This is Christian Rudolph, guys, doing it. So you have to these spots, you have to recognize that there's a lot more going on.
16k ladder on the line. Still saying he obviously knows what he's doing.
Just a
weird.
bit.
Yeah. Christian Rudolph, definitely one of those people that I don't think anyone really questions whether or not he knows what he's doing. There we go. It's time. Time for the open jams for 25 into Nikita. Dang, asking Henry, what background are you going to put on tomorrow? I'm just going to have the room that's behind me. I personally think the room looks very nice, but Party Poker want me to be in the same spaceship as James.
The beautiful Diamond City. Yeah, Henry, he gets to... We're going to see not just Henry's insight, analysis, his own play, all this sort of high stakes going off, but we're going to see his creative flair as well. We're going to see his production quality, guys. We're going to be judging all of it, and seeing as Deng's going to be the mod, we can say what we want. We can really go after him in this channel of his. Poor Henry.
Fair. We'll see. I don't even know if I'm going to be playing tomorrow, to be honest with you. But yeah, well, dang, no, there won't be. Across the Henry, we need a suit and shirt tomorrow. James, show me up. James is always showing me up. Whether it's the shirt, whether it's the golf or the poker, he's always.
Guys, I've got to have one thing. I've got to have one thing on him. All right, let me have my one little victory. Pedro, he's got the boots. Nikita's got ace jack suited. This feels like very much like it could be GG Nikita. I said that a minute ago with the tens. It's like over 20 now, but. This is, at the end of the day, Pedro opening up, and Pedro's just raising so many hands, Henry. I would not be surprised at all.
I don't want to read into this too much, but Pedro opening 2x rather than 2.5x. And, well, I mean, hello 60% of the chips in play if we can fade the hearts.
Jack high flop with one heart. It runs out clean. There'd have been a little skip of a beat there for Pedro, Henry, as those cards rolled off on the flop. You're just expecting to flop them dead, and then you see the jack and the heart, and you have a slight sweat, but Pedro does indeed hold. And as you say, Henry has 60% of the chips. Quite remarkable. Nikita, no more, out in, fifth? Let me check how much was fifth again. 35.5. Not a bad payday. And whilst I was doing all that, I timed up with 2 jacks in the free roll like an idiot. Right. I was clicking bet sizes, Henry. I was checking payouts. The jacks found their way to the middle. I'm just so hopeful this person tables, better than jacks. But there we go. Free roll, of course, is going off on party, guys. WCC free roll, $500 in the pot. The password is WCC Party 2021. Come and join us. Here we go. Joel jamming in now with ace 10 suited. Christian behind ace jack. Are we going to see yet another elimination here on this final table, Henry?
Wow, it does click cool. Has him dominated.
Jack and a 10. And there is another jack for good measure. And just like that, Henry, 5 become 3 as we head on to another break. This has changed things, Henry. So the kind of the short stacking ICM scenario is switched a little bit. And well, when we come back in 5 minutes, we're going to have a relatively deep stack 3-handed play here, Henry.
Yeah, let's go. A few crushes at the table with plenty of chips to hopefully see some flops and some street poker being played as well by these three.
All right, guys. We'll be back in 5 minutes for this World Cup of Cards final table 3-handed play. Change lives. That's the goal. WPT.
I mean, the thing is, right, is
you know. Oh, wow. Gonna cut you off there, Jay. I'm gonna cut myself off. Maxime with the ICM pressure on Vladimir. I must say, I'm a big fan of this jam with the ace-9. He has run into it, though.
Yeah, it's a huge spot for Vladimir.
All the aces live.
And Vanush doing the old tank with the Queen Jack, Henry. This, oh, pardon me, more than just a tank. He's going for it, and now, yeah, Vladimir folds the Thames when he sees the overcall, Henry, which is completely understandable. I'm pretty sure he's going to call, then has to probably happy to see the all-in behind, removes that difficult decision for himself. Vanush overcalls the big and is very live, and a jack in the window, Henry. We're on for our first double up of the day.
Looks that way. Just needs to dodge the 4-ounce. 210's dead.
Yeah. And bizarre start, Henry. And you see Maxime. I mean, it's hard to see Maxime. It's hard to read the faces, Henry, because obviously everyone's masked up. But the eyes tell enough of a story there that he was like, what just happened? Like, I made a bluff jam and someone else not in the pot got involved, called it off. Now, it is worth mentioning, of course, we're playing, 30k, 50k? So, Vanush was on 10 big blinds.
All in.
That's the chips in play. Three-handed. You do have an all-in.
And oh my word, Henry.
Wow.
Andre, very live though. The 10-9 suited against the 2 kings. Not so live anymore. King in the window. It's going to need some runners. But here we go. Step 1 complete, Henry. Can he find that 8-ball? Wow. My word. Ace.
What
king,
a run out
6.
then.
Runs out 7-8. We're getting a little dirty here. Reveal picks up some outs, having stabbed the flop. Andre, of course, sticking around with the ace high. Oh, we've got some Aussies tuning in as well. I like to see this. Scott and Wolfport in the mix. Aussies tuning in for WBT, expecting to see Lingil Martin, no doubt. But I'm afraid you have to make do with myself and Henry. 180 into 400, and look at this, Henry. Andre says, hang on a second, my ace side's still good enough here. This man could have picked up some outs on that turn, and he did, but what he's done even better is pick up the winning hand on the river. Yeah, not surprised, Henry, to see reveal, even though he's rivered that jack to check it. You've bet twice on this board. Your opponent can have a 10. They're probably not calling it.
Oh,
whoa! The bear ace.
Absolutely love it from Andre.
The bear ace, Henry.
Ace of clubs in his hand.
This is what Reveal was trying to avoid by the check. He was trying to avoid getting put in a really tough spot here, but Andre just cracks out the overbet on cue. I was just saying how all these 3 players are willing to make the moves. And Andre is not disappointing. He's recognized here, Henry, that Reveal can definitely have a 9, can have a jack, the way this one's been played. He's bet twice, check river. I don't think he's trying to really make him fold a 10, but
I don't think we're necessarily capped to flushes when we jam river. We see uncapped from the big. We have all of the 10x.
Yes. But the backdoor hands, the ones I'm referring. We can take a large chunk of those out. Is the point with that 8 clubs? But yes, that he still gets to have like all the houses.
Wow.
Welcome back to this, the World Cup of Cards final table. As always, myself and Henry calling the action. As Henry, we are down to the final 3. Just like that, 5 became 3.
5 became 3, and we've got some deep stack 3-handed poker on our hands, man. Let's go. I mean, obviously, huge chip lead. What was it, 60% of the chips in play, but the other two are gonna kind of have to like weave their way through the aggression from our chip leader, try and get to heads up. And I didn't actually realize just how big the difference in stack depth between Mikhail and Christian is. So Christian actually kind of has to kind of proceed with a bit of caution here. Be an absolute disaster to bow out in third.
Right.
Hefty pay jump as well.
Yeah, blinds have gone up as well, Henry. Playing 501 milli.
Potentially see a lead on this turn from Christian, although, yeah, I mean, there we go. Pedro, you could argue, has less 8x in his range, but with him being the chip leader and opening on the button, maybe evenly split between the two. Man, I've been on fire today, Jay. I'm sorry to just say it, but like
you have been. You're ready, Henry. You're fired up. I like it.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go, man. Put me in. Tag me in, team.
Wow. The bomb on the end.
Big boy bet.
And
oh boy.
Big boy cool. Wow. Henry, 75% of the chips. The other two with sub 30 blinds at the 501 milli level. Wow. Who can stop Pedro Fernandes winning this tournament?
Okay. All right, boys and girls. 75% of the chips in play. 170k up top. And you got both your opponents on the ropes with sub 30. I mean, all right. Dang. The good news, Henry, I've rescheduled my appointment with the divorce lawyer and will be there to support you tomorrow. I appreciate it, my man. I truly do.
Guys, 19 minutes left of late reg in the WCC free roll. Please do come on over to Party Poker. Get in the mix. The password is at the top of your screen there. WCC Party 2021. I'm still in there, Henry. I'm still in there. With about starting stack, which is basically optimal. Saving myself doing any additional money.
Pedro just opening range now. Going to see a lot of this, boys and girls. A lot of jamming over the top of Pedro's opens, and I think we're just going to be playing a game of kind of cat and mouse. Whoever gets caught first,
right?
With the rejam when Pedro does wake up with the hand, or one of the the shorter stacks collide. See Mikhail just like letting go of the ace there on the button. Ooh, oh boy! I'm never gonna see the open jam. Pedro gonna get out of the way. Mikhail gonna jam over the top, maybe.
Could we ever induce with this? Is that
no, not ace jacko? I don't think.
I miss the old days.
It's one of those ones where I feel like it'd be a disaster to 3-bet fold. Like say we click this like 6.5. Yeah, just gonna stuff it in Christian's eyes. And...
Well, Henry, we're guaranteed 79k. This thing stand top 2, taking home 6 figs. So it's like a it's a big pay jump, but this was like a mental pay jump, That 6-figure payday guaranteed if you go one spot further.
The open rip from Pedro, the A7.
Good luck, boys. Good luck.
Yeah, this could be over in like 10 minutes, like quite literally. I love these spots. I love seeing a competent chip leader just, grabbing the ball by the horns and just putting on a show for us. I mean, from an entertainment point of view, sometimes it can just be a bit, monotonous. I'm not seeing many flops, but from a knowledge point of view and just from like a viewer learning about ICM and just kind of just like taking notes on how to proceed when you do find yourselves in these spots, very educational performance being put on by Pedro so far. Love to see it.
And it is. Christian, wow, look at this. He's leading out with the King of Diamonds on his A7 3 diamonds board, and Pedro is taking it up with the 6-9 offsuit. No diamond, No nothing. Just literally a wing and a prayer. And this one's not going to work because Christian ends up turning the nuts. Now, is Pedro going to throw good off the bad? That's the question. Well, a little stab, a cost-effective attempted bluff, but not going to work here. Rudolph got the nuts. Henry, dream scenario. You got your maniac. Yeah. Oh, spicy. Goes in for a little check raise. Wow. Curious.
Yeah, I mean, just coolering all of those, queen high, jack high flushes. I guess the fold. Flex or fold. So how much was the buy-in for this tournament? This tournament was a $1,000 buy-in, or 1,100, and put on a 1 mil guarantee after it's been 2 years now of putting on these pretty chunky guarantees, and honestly, I'm struggling to recall the last time we were let down.
Yeah, this one was this one was close. 1,008
it was
ponied up, but it did get there.
It makes sense, borders opening up, governments with being more lax on restrictions and whatnot.
Yeah, and it's the summer in the Northern Hemisphere, man. People are playing less poker.
Yeah. That's very true. Very true. And the return of live poker as well in some places across Europe. 3-bet pot. Mikhail taking it upstairs with the Queen Dewey. And, flops best. Pedro will be bowing out to, even a 10% bet here from Mikhail would be getting the job done. It is a board as well that he's going to bet small on. Goes for quarter pot. And Christian just has to watch that one play out. So James, whilst we're three-handed, potentially on the verge of wrapping this one up, like I said, it could be over in 10 minutes, could be over in an hour.
Yeah.
What have we got on the cards? Have you heard anything through the grapevine? Got anything coming up?
Well, yeah. Obviously, we have our next stream is going to occur. Our next stream together, that is, on this channel, is going to be on 29th of July, guys. It's the Community Poker Knockout, which you'll be hearing more about over the next couple of weeks leading up to that. And then we have the Grand Prix online as well, the sort of bigger brand, should we say, of the party poker world, smaller buy-in but large field events. So that's right at the start of August, and then I know, Henry, crazy. We're going to be into August in the not too distant future. But yeah, those two next up for you here, of course. There's plenty of other content coming to you on this channel, and a little bit more of that in a moment anyway. But yeah, stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. And of course, we have our main man as well, Mr. Henry Corbin, throwing out all sorts of content if you're just joining us. Well, Henry, you can have another plug, Henry. Have another plug. Overbet Express kicking off tomorrow, isn't it?
Yes, the Overbet Express brand. Something I've been working on quietly, and I can finally kind of announce that tomorrow we're launching over on our Twitch channel. Tons of high stakes pot limit Omaha cash games, high stakes MTTs.
It's the juice, man. High stakes pot limit Omaha cash games. That's a rarely streamed beast, Henry.
Yes, it's going to be rare for us as well. I think just most people enjoy, high stakes MTTs, the deep runs, 6 figures up top, and high stakes PLO can be pretty tough to play and commentate on at the same time. And also, it's one of those games that there's not that much information out there. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the high stakes MTTs on Sundays, especially. I think we're going to be, when it comes to content on Twitch, going to be close to the top in terms of buy-ins or total buy-ins for the Sunday streams. So yeah, if you guys like, watching people, potentially win or lose tens of thousands of dollars on any given day, make sure you give us a follow. And tomorrow's the maiden stream. And we're gonna have to get you in there at some point, James, as well, man. You know, just even if it's just to come and just chit chat and trash talk us every now and then.
So well, I'm about to say you certainly don't want me in there playing high stakes PLO, but you probably do. You just want to take a seat somewhere nearby. Yeah, okay. High stakes PLO, man. I'm looking forward to that. Unfortunately, tomorrow, Henry, I'm probably not going to be able to. Actually, no, in the evening I'm able to tune in. Yeah, I'm actually I'm going to be at a golf event tomorrow, and a certain Mr. Neil Barrett is going to be there as well. So it'll be.
Oh, fantastic!
I don't know what state I'll be in come the evening, but
I think not to put Neil on blast on stream, but golf. I feel like there's going to be a bit of drinking involved, and you know. Put Neil Barrett in the mix and things could definitely get messy, that's for sure.
Yeah. I'll have to see, yeah. Looking forward to it, but haven't seen it.
Yeah, send my regards as well, please. Yeah, it's obviously it's been a while since I'm trying to think. Yeah, last time I saw Neil it's definitely over a year ago, so
Pedro, hello. Over potting it into the top two. Mikhail checking this one back. Henry giving his man some rope. And, well, Pedro's jumping into the noose. Although, level 5 on the end could change things dramatically. Oh,
well.
Just
How
the nuts.
about the nuts? Yeah.
Just the nuts.
Poker Ross saying, James Henry, did you hear that Cash Game Legend won an 850 big blind pot on Fast Forward on this channel last night? Jeez, some people just
need the clip. Need the clip. Need the clip or it didn't happen. Let's see it.
The run good, hey? Were there some hashtag rigged in the Twitch chat when he shipped that one in?
Aaron's just raised a very interesting and timely question, and that's a great point, Aaron, and I'm very upset myself that I haven't asked that myself. But Henry, like, how do you overbet in PLO? Do you overbet Express, PLO? I mean, come on, help us out here.
Well, although it is a poker term which we all love to exploit in No Limit Hold'em cash games and tournaments, we actually came up with it because our brand is going to be focusing on crypto, high stakes poker, sports betting, lifestyle entertainment, and just a group of friends trying to overbet on life. Hence the Overbet Express. All aboard, all aboard the Overbet Express, basically. See how it works out for us. You know, we might be bust though in 12 months. Who knows? Unless crypto picks up again.
I have to laugh at this. We've got another, online poker's rigged in the chat, but it's rigged in completely the opposite way to the last poster who was saying it's rigged that the pros win all the time, and this one's saying, well, it's rigged so all the punters win. So maybe those two should have a conversation and figure it out between them and come up with a unified rig strategy.
There we go.
So one person thinks it's rigged and all the pros win, one thinks rigged and all the punters win. I like it. Maybe they're both right and maybe they're both wrong. Both those things. Anyway, Christian ripping 8-7 of diamonds from the small. My.
Excuse me, chat. Excuse me. I do love it. I just love the the flurry of different people that we get coming and going on our streams. And hey, look, each to their own.
Welcome all. And yeah, it's not rigged, but you obviously are entitled to believe that for a while. But you should go out and investigate that a little further. And as Henry says, once you figure it out, you realize, there's maybe I can improve my game. Spend that energy better. What's the password for? Says Balconeri. It is for the free roll, and that's a good prompt because you've only got 7 minutes left to register for the free roll. And yeah, Henry's making a noise here because that is a pretty dramatic flop that could have all sorts of ramifications for this three-handed play. Mikhail with pair and flush draw, Pedro with top pair, and the over card, Queen of Spades, Henry.
Yeah, obviously won't be going anywhere. Questioning the check raise at 50 effective.
Pedro
feels a bit dicey. I mean, we just have top pair and we just have, an extremely important backup card. It does go for the check
It's
raise.
Pedro, Henry. He's not messing around. He's going. He goes big. Love to see it, man. This guy's played so fantastically well on this final table. Obviously, I know, guys, in the chat, before you jump on it, he's had a decent run of cards, but he has played very, very top-level poker today. 9 on the turn.
Yeah.
It's a small significance, right? The Pedro could have check raise a hand like 9-6, 9-7 with a spade, I guess. Potential.
Yeah, Mikhail gonna, have some stabs with 9-7, 9-6. But yeah, just gets it done.
Oh, well.
This could be GG's for Christian. Yeah. I say it could be GG's. He has the best hand, but I don't think he'll be folding an ace.
Yeah.
12.
Blinds have crept up, Henry. So it's not even 12 anymore. It's 10 bigs. And he does make the call. Pedro looking for a king or queen. 8 high flop, good for Christian. And he gets the double up. All right. Not so fast, Pedro. Not so fast. You have to fight a little harder for this one. All right. Here we go. Supernova's posted this clip. Let's have a little look. See, shall we? See how much I put. If I believe this. Christian limping in from the small ace-5 suited and is going to see a raise. I guess just the check raise, the limp raise, pardon me, Henry. Does go for that indeed and gets one through. Suddenly this one deepening out a little bit. Both those two getting closer to 30 bigs. Christian now with ace-king suited as well. Gets to fire up once more.
Overbet turn, nice. Sorry, I'm watching this clip.
I'm loving the celebration. I mean, I've got it on mute for obvious reasons, but yeah, nice. The set of a set. Loving the celebration. Here we go.
Oh wow, must be nice. Just get check jammed into for 400 bigs, the top set. Ooh. Well, how about that for a flop? Ace Queen 7.
It's a good one.
Yeah. Mikhail always going to be sticking around. What do we want on the turn, chat?
I'd say a low club or a 4 would be spicy.
Gonna see a big bet from Christian here. And close the pot. I'm sorry, chat. Stake me. Put me in. Put me in, coach.
Put him in! Mikhail doesn't want to put them in, but he's going to have to with this pair of flush draw. But it's good things happen when you put in a pair of flush draws sometimes, Henry. Sometimes the river comes with a club and you make a flush. Or a 4 and you make 2 pair. Wow. Good game, Christian. We saw him with a very astute check back earlier. This one though, this one's not getting checked back. This one is your loving jam in.
That's legit. The Grim River. I think we probably checks back. Potentially gets away with it on clubs.
Yeah, and a queen as well. Yeah, I feel like the 4's the only one that sends him off.
Yeah,
he's better. He sort of. Once he pulled the slider left a tiny bit back, has to press call. But that's like the worst. For the shrapnel, you know you can't be good, but you're getting about gazillion to 1. He makes the call, Henry, as well he should, of course. Mikhail's 2 pair, though, is better. And Christian Rudolph, who came in here as the chip leader and perhaps the most experienced player at the table, is out in 3rd, picking up 79k. Well, heads up it is. Pretty deep now, Henry. 50 bigs effective.
Yeah, we've... This isn't how I expected it to turn out, to be honest with you. I felt like Pedro was just going to have, a 4-5 to 1 chip lead. But yeah, this is a legit match.
Yeah, it's only 2 to 1, Henry. I say only, but I mean, considering where he's been, Mikhail would be thinking, okay, I've got a chance in this. Straight away, though, look at this. Pedro just puts it on him. Whoa.
Wow.
What's going on here? These guys going hard.
This would be super out of line if he calls here with the king 8 suited. Gets laid an insane price though.
Wow. This final table is not disappointed, and this first hand of the heads up is keeping it right on point. We see a 4-bet pot on this Ace Jack 3.
I mean, it feels like a small bet spot, but alarm bells must be kind of like concerning to see the Ace Jack 3 rainbow. Pedro gonna have a ton of continues when he 3-bet calls a 4-bet on this board. Although I would never expect Mikhail to. He does just wave it, just waves it.
And Henry, I am now just gathering that I believe a deal has been done in this heads up, so that might explain the kind of looser play we see here at the start of this heads up. But they're still playing for 10k, and of course the title of champion of the World Cup of Cards. But the deal as it stands, I believe, is Mikhail receiving 127k, Pedro 144k, and then playing for that additional $10,000. So that might explain the kind of willingness to get a little bit more out of line, Henry. But like I say, still playing for 10k.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're rich, James, but too rich for my blood. 10k, I'd be taking it really seriously.
Yeah, I mean, and I think they are, but they're just you feel like you can get a little bit more bullshit with it. You can get a little bit more out of line once you've done that deal.
Yeah, the King 5-0 is not the worst hand to take upstairs, you know. And Pedro with the small turn probe just getting it through.
Also, Henry, glad to say we've done the draw for the tickets following the last break. But quickly before I get to that, you guys have got, I think, just like literally a few seconds left to register for this free roll. WCC free roll, $500 over on Party. Please do come join us. As this hand progresses, let's see if we can get some of these tickets given out. So the winners are Russ Wolfhound, BSE Magoo 9, Too High to Note, Ray Rivero, Arbre 1, 4692 Dreamer, Danny Tot, S. Smirnoff, Matthias Nufel, and Bot Minded. If you heard your name, you won an $11 Day Legends ticket. Congratulations. Those names are going in the chat right now as well. And they won those guys by answering our Sport Buff questions. Please do click the button, the widget towards the top right of the screen. Click the drop down, click start now if you haven't already done so. Then when the questions come up, you can play along as well. And well, you can play along without clicking that button, but we don't know your name if you do that. So you need to click the button in order to win the prizes. Pedro just going hard again. Look at this, Henry.
Yeah, I was just really enjoying this whilst you were reading out the names. It's yeah, street poker being played by Pedro Fernandes. Mikhail with the lead on the turn. A board as well that you would assume, had Pedro been checked to, might shut down, given, you know, top pair pairing. But then against the lead, just puts him in, man. What?
Whoa.
This is I mean, this is the story is being told. Open button, c-bet flop, get led into on the turn, raising it up, and not phased by the 3 of diamonds river. I mean, maybe Pedro just wants to go to bed. He's like, you know, I've locked up 140k, 150k. Want to go and celebrate. He's got the friends round. Gets it through.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Love this, Henry.
And yeah, it's a heads-up match that we came into, the 2-1 lead, and we were talking about the 5-1, 6-1 trip leads, and there you have it in the space of a couple of hands. Pedro just clutch mode, boys and girls. It's not over yet. It's not over.
No, it certainly isn't. It certainly isn't. It's still just under 30 blinds deep. I mean, all sorts can happen here, but It's the early trade going to Pedro has just been relentless. And it's again just... All right, you're going to try limping? Well, that's still going to get raised. What else are you going to try? You know? You're going to full bet me, I'm going to call you with King 8. What are you going to do next?
Yeah. Yeah, it was, gifted an early chip lead by Peter Chien. I think like second or third hand of this final table, and hasn't really put a foot wrong. I can recall maybe one spot that he got a bit out of line and kind of, but other than that, gifted the chip lead early on and has just put on an absolute dominating display for the entire final table, three-handed, four-handed, and now heads up. I mean, this could be GG's here. What was this, 20... Was it 23, 24 bigs?
Oh, he's going for the limp as well. Is this going to be the limp jam, Henry? Is that the line here?
Could be the limp jam, could just be the limp call. Let's see what sizing Pedro goes for. If he goes for, yeah. The 3.5x makes it more, attractive to just jam here.
Well, calls and flops the king high flush draw, Henry, on this check 6-3 all heart ball. Pedro with the queens no heart. I mean, they're trying to get this in. The deck's trying to get this in.
Hashtag rigged.
Yeah, exactly. Right on point. Right on today's topic.
Yeah.
Whoa. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. This one's not done just yet. Mikhail turns the king high flush and will return himself to 30 blinds. And Mikhail checking it back with that king high flush, just trying to get Pedro to perhaps commit a few more chips. Pedro, though, still with enough to be checking down, hoping to win. Now, Henry, Mikhail gets to go small, he's going to go big, it feels like he's got options.
I think we just want to go polar here, especially in heads up. Even like the 8 of hearts in a tough spot, 10 of hearts in a tough spot versus a big size. Does call it off.
Well, like I say, it's life in the old dog yet. Mikhail, back to what, 40 blinds. I thought these two with a 40 big blind depth, Henry, can still do a lot of damage pre-flop. The way they've been going. Sure enough, 2.5x open from Pedro. Peel from Mikhail in the big blind. And just like that, Mikhail finds the 8, gets the check mark. Henry, all he's got to do is not fold, and he'll win this one. Good luck with the not folding part.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, turn fourth pair on this board, and don't know about you, mate, but...
I'm taking it to the bank.
Are we? We're just like, yeah, click auto call.
Especially with that river card. I mean, it looks even better now, doesn't it? This 8 looks unbeatable. Only loses to any card above an 8. That's it.
Yeah. It also sucks that we have like a 6 in our hand.
Right, card under the 8, yeah. Hello, that's one way to do it.
Wow.
I've just busted the free roll, Henry. Times are tough here.
Yeah.
Times are tough. Maybe you should let me come on the Overbet Express and stream the free rolls. Oh, that's the content that people have been demanding.
I'm going to be in talks with yourself and some of the party team. I want to try and put out some new stuff. Try and try some stuff that hasn't been done yet. So maybe like a mixture of like gaming and poker, my team versus some of the party poker team. Some like friendly sit and goes or cash games, bit of mixture of Hold'em, PLO, and then maybe like some Counter-Strike or whatnot. We'll see. I think like Counter-Strike for like tickets would be really fun. Just different form of tilt. So we'll see, man. We've got some stuff lined up.
Plenty in the pipeline, it sounds. Henry's going to be a busy boy, guys. Very busy boy. These two, well, they keep getting dealt these powerhouses. Jack 4, Jack 5. There's some domination. Any hand and heads up could be the hand.
I've got a funny feeling this one won't be the hand. Not for 40 bigs. Unless it just comes like Jack, Jack 4.
Well, Jack 5, 4. There you go. Jack 5, 4. And it's all over, Henry.
Always interesting seeing if like the real trash like this, Jack 5-0, gets taken upstairs.
It does.
It does.
It's relentless, Henry. He's
does.
been relentless.
Not slowing down.
There was me sort of at the outset of today's show sort of calling upon Andras Nemeth as the one who's going to, take it a little too far, perhaps. Take it past the line. But he departed in ninth.
What is going on, boys?
Whoa, what?
Mikhail, limp 3-bet with the Jack 4. I mean, I give up, chat. I've been playing poker wrong all these years, okay?
I told you, Henry, the Jack 4, Jack 5 could have been it. These guys are going hard. Now look, 7, 6, 6, 5. They're fighting over the same turf.
Some street poker being played here.
And Queen, Deuce, Trey, flop. So yeah, Henry, I can't see too much happening with this one.
I mean, you said that. I said that about the Jack 4, Jack 5, and then all of a sudden, there was somehow close to 17 million chips in the middle. So
yeah, I'm feeling a little safe on this one though with the Queen, Deuce, Trey. Mikhail with the gut shot though. Certainly can win this hand. Does go for the check call. Turns the 4. Nuts versus Pedro with a gut shot now, Henry.
Yeah, and one of the 5s being a diamond. That's such a gin turn card, right? You just check call.
It's the offsuit 4. And now, you just get the pop bet. Mikhail with a little tank, the call, and setting up nicely to press call for a little over pot on the end.
Yeah, absolutely no need to raise here. Especially given the aggression that Pedro's
right. He's just been relentless. Question is he going to slow down this time, Henry? I feel like he may. I feel like this one's probably one that does get given up, but I guess the 6 does help a little bit. But I mean,
yeah, non-diamond river.
I take it. All the people in the chat who were saying poker's rigged. I take it back. I was ridiculing you. You're obviously right. Well, Henry, what can we say? Mikhail just run into a buzz throw on this heads up. Pedro just ridiculously aggressive, and he's finally trapped his man Henry, and it's come the running 4-5 offsuit. Poker's a funny old game.
GG's, boys and girls. It's been a great stream. Great return after 5 weeks. And,
This is so sick. Mikhail's he comes out the lead. It's like, he's desperately unlucky if Pedro somehow has a 6. He's gonna see him turn over the 6-7. God, I've been in this seat before, Henry. I've been in Mikhail's shoes. This is horrible. He's even just gone for the big lead as well. Wow.
Yeah, just so you try to get value from 2 pairs and obviously aces, any ace-X. We snap call, we high-five our friends, even though we know we're probably chopping once we get jammed on. And...
How is this a chop, you're thinking? How do I chop? I don't chop it? What? Wow.
So sick.
Good game, Mikhail. As I said, deal was done. So what did I say? 130. I can't remember what I actually said. 130-ish dollars were locked up. But our winner, and a very worthy winner, it has to be said. He's played fantastically well. You see the beautiful World Cup of Cards trophy heading to Brazil. Pedro Fernandes taking it down.
Yeah. Obviously, the last hand, just an insane caller, but just can't take anything away from Pedro. Honestly, as soon as he got that chip lead, courtesy of Peter Chien, I think a very solid final table performance, and especially when it got down to 4 and 3-handed, an absolute ICM masterclass from him. GG's. And yeah, James, thanks for having me, man. It's been so fun today after 5 weeks away.
That was a good one. That was a good tournament to come back to, guys. I hope all of you in the chat have enjoyed it. I mean, yeah, it's definitely a good one to come back for. Obviously, we're not back for a few more weeks, but there's plenty more going on this channel. And you see there, Maximus Black tomorrow evening at 9 o'clock here in the UK, 10 o'clock Central European. Please do check that out, and also please do stay with us because we're going to go on a little raid, and we got something fun coming up, Henry. We're going to send you all over to the Staples brothers battling it out. They've got a nice little stream going here, so we're going to raid that. And of course, though, Henry, one more chance. Something else launches tomorrow, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was just going to say the Maximus stream is actually on Saturday, but tomorrow, twitch.tv/Overbet Express, your boy and my team will be playing a bunch of high stakes, MTTs and cash games on party poker and across the board. So if you enjoy, watching us winning or losing tens of thousands of our own money, feel free to drop us a follow and come and check it out. And yeah, thanks, James.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. Thanks, Henry. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. And we will see you, 3 weeks today, 29th of July, for that Community Poker Knockout. Until then, I wish you all the best of luck. And, Henry, best of luck with the Overbet Express. All right, guys, we're sending you off to see the Staples brothers in action. Enjoy.